You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Well, now on Fox 17 News this morning, a fiery plane crash along I-40 kills all people on board and shuts down the interstate for hours. We've got the latest updates as authorities are now working to find out exactly what happened. And a search for a missing teenager with autism continues right now. We've got updates from Sumner County as we enter day 8 with no answers. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. A busy morning here on this Tuesday. I'm Justin McFarland. We're going to get started with breaking news we've been following from overnight.
This is a single-engine aircraft that had several persons on board. It appears that everyone on board perished.
Metro Police speaking there as we are telling you about the confirmed death of several people when a small plane went down along I-40 last night. This is video from a viewer just moments after that crash. You can see the flames right next to the interstate. This is along I-40 near American Road over in West Nashville. Metro Police say that the plane experienced engine and power failure and went down right after 7:40 p.m. Now, hours later, the scene on I-40 West over there in Nashville is still very active. We're taking a live look over there at the scene via TDOT. Our Fox 17 News, Karen Aguilar, also live from the scene over there in West Nashville with the latest on this story and what I'm sure is still a very active scene. Karen.
It definitely is, and this is as close as we can get to the scene. But the Metro Police Department spokesperson, Dawn Aaron, says the crash happened last night behind this Costco along I-40 East. You can still see there is a police car here and crime tape. Aaron says the Federal Aviation Administration is expected to be here any time now, and we are working on getting more answers. CNN is reporting 5 people were on board the plane, but we are working to confirm that, along with where that plane might have come from. What we do know is that a small plane burst into flames into the shoulder of Nashville's Interstate 40 because the pilot reported engine and power failure at around 7:40 last night, according to Metro Police and the fire department spokespeople. We know there were several people that died as a result of this. We are working to identify those victims.
We are saddened by the loss of souls that were on board, but we are proud of the work that everyone is doing to stabilize this incident and to make sure that there were no additional casualties that came from that.
Plane crashed near I-40 in Nashville last night, killing everyone.
The FAA and the NTSB is investigating the circumstances surrounding this incident. When we get more answers from them, we will bring those to you. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
4:03 and check on your forecast here on this Tuesday morning. Your Monday was fantastic. We had temperatures that soared well into the 70s. We hit 78 degrees today. Not quite as warm and also not quite as calm. Taking a look, we already have some showers moving into our southern counties. Let's zoom in and do our thing. We'll start tracking for you here. If you're in Lewisburg, you're not seeing much rain just yet, but a few pockets of some decent rainfall and also a little lightning heading your direction. When does it get there? I'd say a good 15-20 minutes. So if you need, for some reason right now at 4:03 to get out there and take the dog out or just maybe you're getting going, now's your chance before the rain begins to move in. Columbia, you're right under it. Pulaski, same with you. Lawrenceburg, you're seeing some decent rain. No severe weather expected. Not worried about that, but a few claps of thunder can't be ruled out. This will track toward the I-65 corridor, getting toward the Thompson Station area, then Franklin, and eventually Brentwood if it holds together. This is the beginning of a morning where we're going to have a few more showers and maybe even a few thunderstorms just like this. We're staying in the 70s later on this afternoon. Right side of your screen, we are in the 50s again, just like yesterday. The best part, though, no signs of severe weather. We'll keep tracking it for you, though, throughout the rest of this morning. Justin?
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get started here where we have focused a lot of attention over the last few hours here at Fox 17, and that's on I-40 at American Road in West Nashville. That's where we are dealing with the aftermath of that plane crash. The interstate, I want to emphasize, is open. Again, this is over in West Nashville. The interstate is open. It was shut down for several hours while investigation was conducted. We're going to get another update from Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar coming up here in the next 20 to 25 minutes minutes or so, but the interstate again is open over there in West Nashville. You can get by. Just watch out for crews who are going to be out there for hours, if not maybe a few more days, dealing with that particular crash. In other news this morning, today is Super Tuesday. It's the day for Tennessee's primary elections to happen. Plus, some local offices will be handled as well. 15 other states and 1 U.S. territory are also headed to the polls. If you are anywhere within the state of Tennessee, you can go to votetn.com to learn about your voting options. To find your polling place in Metro Nashville, Davidson County, you can head to maps.nashville.gov/pollingplacefinder. If you can't remember all that, you can remember fox17.com, right? You can go there and get a link to that particular website so you can find out exactly where you need to cast your ballot. Continuing coverage as the Sumner County Sheriff's Office is now shifting its primary focus to the investigation of Sebastian Rogers' disappearance. We're taking a live look there at the command post at the Shackle Island Volunteer Fire Department as search teams for Sebastian Rogers are now transitioning to more of a standby mode. They are standing by in place and ready to act on any lead instead of actively going out there and looking. Now, Sebastian was last seen back on February the 26th, very close to Beach High School. Sebastian's family, that includes his mother, his father, and his stepfather, are still awaiting word about anything leading to his finding. Fox 17 News was able to speak with Sebastian's father in a very emotional phone call.
What has the last week been like for you as a father?
My heart is missing somewhere out here, and I'm just trying to find him.
Seth Rogers says that the last time he saw Sebastian was 2 weekends ago. Sebastian's mother, Katie, spoke on a podcast saying that she went to bed Sunday night around 9 o'clock and he was not in his bed at 6 a.m. the next day. Fox 17 News asked Seth about some of Sebastian's hobbies that could possibly help find him. Seth says that Sebastian likes creeks, fishing, playing video games, animals, and plants. Well, coming up, a woman is now charged for running an illegal daycare where a baby passed away last year. We're going to tell you about the felony charges that have just been added on to her case. Plus, the deadly shooting at...
You seem to create this show that is unbelievably candid, vulnerable, and authentic. Thank you for making this.
Watch The Drew Barrymore Show, weekdays at 11 on Fox 17.
4:10 is the time. A Bellevue woman accused of running an illegal daycare where a 3-month-old baby died last year is now facing felony charges. Ann Jordan is accused of running the daycare out of her apartment complex, watching up to 6 other young children at the time where that baby died. Police later found Jordan at a state park after police say that she seriously hurt herself. Jordan is now facing aggravated child abuse, as well as endangerment and operating a daycare without a license. Metro Police are now searching for a suspect in yesterday's deadly shooting that happened at a Bordeaux area apartment complex. We first brought this to you as breaking news yesterday morning. Metro Police say that it was Samuel Edwards Jr. who was shot at the Overlook Ridge Apartments on Buena Vista Pike. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. Officers say that the suspect followed Edwards into the apartment, but they say the motive for the shooting is unknown. If you have any information about this, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number there at the bottom of your screen. 4:11 is the time. Let's get to Greg and look at your Tuesday forecast.
Waking up here, a few showers already on the radar. A few claps of thunder have been involved as well. No severe weather, but definitely one of those mornings where rain will continue to move in from the south to the north, and you may have to contend with that throughout the rest of the day as well. This is going to be a fairly active Tuesday. At no point am I worried about severe weather, but definitely inconveniences for today. Lewisburg, you're moments away from the rain moving in. For you, I'd say about a good 5-10 minutes at most, and continuing to move its way to the north and to the east. Areas like Murfreesboro, Franklin, Brentwood, and then eventually Nashville. We'll see a few showers this morning. But Columbia, you're seeing it right now. Thompson Station, you'll be up. And then once you're getting it, Franklin, start hunkering down here. Not for anything we have to worry about, but I would just say if you can get outside if you need to right now, it's probably the best bet to do so. Look at your 7-day forecast. We're beginning a very rainy pattern, 73 degrees this afternoon. We hit 78 yesterday. So the temperature department is winning right now. The rain department, not so much. I'll continue tracking rain throughout this afternoon, evening, and into tomorrow morning. Coming up in the next look at your Code Red forecast.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you out to the airport. This is going to be I-40 at Donaldson Pike. As you can see, traffic moving along out there just fine. If you got that early morning flight over there at BNA, no big problems over there getting to the airport this morning. We are also continuing to follow this scene on I-40 near American Road in West Nashville. That's where we have dealt with a small plane crash that has happened overnight. So if you're traveling in and around the West Nashville, Charlotte Pike area over there, you may run into this, as investigators are going to be out there for the foreseeable future taking a closer look at that particular crash that happened right along the interstate. Interstate is open, by the way. Well, coming up, the Supreme Court has a ruling that put former President Trump back on the ballot. We're going to tell you what his primary opponent, former Governor Nikki Haley, has to say about it. And the father of a school shooter headed to court this
needed to prepare and stay safe.
Fox 17 News Code Red weather alerts.
Your first line of defense when severe weather threatens.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 4:15 is the time. Live look there over downtown Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to be okay this morning. No big slowdowns out there on the road so far. Greg is talking about weather that continues to be a little mild, even though we could see another temperature drop and some rain perhaps. He'll get into details on that coming up here in the next few minutes. Former President Donald Trump is applauding the decision from the United States Supreme Court, which found that he should appear on the 2024 primary ballot in Colorado. The Republican frontrunner calling yesterday a big day for America. Now, the former president.
I want to start by thanking the Supreme Court for its unanimous decision today. It was a very important decision. We're very well crafted, and I think it will go a long way toward bringing our country together, which our country needs.
All of this follows months worth of debate focused in on the part of the 14th Amendment, which says that officials who have, quote, engaged in insurrection are disqualified from holding office, end quote. Now, the decision ends efforts by states like Colorado, as well as Illinois and Maine, to take former President Trump off the ballot because of his role in the January 6th Capitol riots. In the meantime, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley is Trump's last remaining rival for the Republican nomination. She agrees with the United States Supreme Court with that decision. Take a listen.
We don't ever want some elected official in a state or anybody else saying who can and can't be on a ballot. This is America. This is America. Look, I'll defeat Donald Trump fair and square, but I want him on that ballot.
Super Tuesday could mark a turning point for Nikki Haley's 2024 White House bid. The former South Carolina governor and UN ambassador has vowed to stay in the race at least through today's contest. She did win the Republican primary in the District of Columbia on Sunday, marking her very first victory in the 2024 campaign. Former President Trump has dominated every other contest in every other state. A Fox 17 News health alert this morning is starting this Friday. Free at-home COVID tests from the U.S. government will no longer be available to Americans. Now, the Department of Health and Human Services says that it is suspending the free COVID test program after a decline in cases recently. The CDC also eased COVID isolation guidance recently. However, HHS is still providing tests each week to places like long-term care facilities, food banks, health centers, and schools. The Department of Human and Health Services says that people who place orders for free COVID tests on or before Friday will still receive them. The program may come back in the future if cases rise again. Let's talk to Greg Bobus. He's going to talk about the temperature rising. Yesterday was gorgeous out there, 75 degrees. What about today?
Today's 73.
Okay.
The one difference is some rain there kind of on and off. So it's kind of find your target times to get outside and find ways to avoid the rain. Because no one wants to get poured on, but you want to enjoy the 70s. So there's kind of a little catch here for today. We're going to work you through it, though. We'll do it right now. Code red threat level, going to keep the arrow right where it's at all clear. I have no indications of severe weather today, tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday, which is great news for us. The problem is, each day has a chance for some showers. Already a few of them out there have been tracking for you. And we'll dive back into live radar here in about 4 or 5 minutes from right now. But I want to give you the moving forward. Here's, again, 4 a.m. taking us to 7 o'clock. And you can see not a whole lot happening here this morning. A few isolated showers, a quick rumble of thunder can't be ruled out. But by 11, 12, and 1 o'clock, we get a little more heat. We'll get a little bit of sun trying to work with us here, bursting through the clouds occasionally, and then the rain begins to pick up. You see the yellows and oranges that late afternoon into southern Kentucky, and then we continue this kind of fizzle up and then die down type of a thing here. You can see here, 8 p.m., we're still dealing with some rainfall, and that'll continue into the very first few hours of tomorrow morning. I would say by 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, we're done for your Wednesday, except for the Cumberland Plateau. You have a couple of lingering showers for your Wednesday, but everywhere west of there, fairly cloudy, a little bit cooler in the upper 60s, but overall, it really is going to be a today and then tonight event. Taking a look, nothing happening right now in the Nashville area, but showers not too far away from impacting us. Again, we'll track those coming up in about 4 to 5 minutes from right now.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning at 4:20. Quick look here at the scene we've been following for most of the morning, and that is on I-40, very close to American Road in West Nashville, dealing with a plane crash that happened there around 7:40 last night. Again, this is in West Nashville. The good news is, and I want to emphasize this, the interstate is open. The interstate is open. It was closed for several hours overnight, but the interstate has reopened. You can see traffic getting by over there in West Nashville just fine. Overall drive times, everybody in the green so far. Mount Juliet, Murfreesboro, and Franklin, everyone with normal drive times so far this morning. Well, the father of a Michigan school shooter, Ethan Crumbley, heads to trial today. Jury selection does begin in Oakland County, Michigan. James Crumbley is facing 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Last month, the jury found his wife guilty of those identical charges. Now, Jennifer's team tried to pin the blame on James for buying their son the gun to kill 4 students at Oxford High School back in 2021. Jennifer Crumbley is the mother here, and also blaming him for not locking that gun up. Ethan Crumbley, who is now 17, has pled guilty to 24 counts and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Well, coming up, Jason Kelce. No, not that Kelce. No. Jason Kelce with the Eagles has announced his retirement. As you can see him going to the podium there, we're going to tell you about the impact of the game he had. And the Memphis Grizzlies fight to
expert. Have you ever heard of the Kama Sutra? The Indian sex book.
I guess.
You're welcome.
The Big Bang Theory.
Watch The Big Bang Theory weeknights at 6 and 6:30 on Fox 17.
4:24 is the time. The Philadelphia Eagles will have to soar into the next season with someone else at center. That is because Jason Kelce announced his retirement just yesterday. Now, Kelce played his entire 13-year career with the Eagles. His parents, as well as his brother, that is the Kansas City Chiefs tight end, Travis Kelce, were on hand. You can see the 2 brothers embracing right there at a press conference in Philadelphia where Jason announced his retirement. The Eagles won Super Bowl 52 with Jason Kelce at center for quarterback Nick Foles. Kelce went on to 7 Pro Bowls. He was also, and this is really huge, a 6-time All-Pro, which is very impressive in the NFL. Kelce will be eligible for the Hall of Fame coming up in 2029. We'll see. Well, the Memphis Grizzlies get a big win last night over the Brooklyn Nets, but it came pretty close down at the end. Now, the game up there in New York saw both teams trading the lead throughout the game. The Grizzlies did get the win in the end, though, 106-102. The Grizzlies, who have not had the best season of all time, will be taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. Seems like they're on an East Coast run. That game tomorrow at 6:30. We're looking ahead to tonight. The Nashville Predators back on the ice taking on the Montreal Canadiens in a home ice matchup. Nashville has won 8 games in a row. They're looking to extend that to 9. The Preds also just signed their center, or forward in this case, Tommy Novak, to a 3-year contract extension, keeping him in Smashville. Tonight, the puck drops at 7 p.m.
4:25, looking at your Code Red forecast here, taking a look at the radar and tracking what is out there. I told you yesterday you'll be waking up to some showers here, and the movement of these showers is going to bring them very close to Nashville very quickly. Taking a look, everything going from the bottom left-hand side of your screen to the top right-hand. Let's just dive in and take a look at where they are at. They're very disorganized here. So these pop-up little cells you can see. And what I mean by that is all these little circles. We're going to see them pop up. They'll last a good half hour, and then they die down just a touch. Lewisburg, west side of town. You're seeing a little bit of rainfall right now. I'll put a track on the one thunderstorm we have moving toward the Franklin and Brentwood area. I would say Franklin about 14 minutes from now, Brentwood roughly a half hour. If they hold together, we're going to see this firing up pattern throughout the rest of this morning, where we're not going to be a guarantee that everything that is on the radar makes it to its target location before it just runs out of energy. You can get the Fox 17 Code Red weather app. Great place to go to get your updates. You can just scan that QR code right there and look at the radar when you are on the go. I'll tell you right now, there will be rain on the radar each day for the next 4 days here in the forecast, taking us toward the weekend. Justin?
Still clear traffic at 427. A quick look outside here, 24 at Hickory Hollow Parkway. As you make that drive in from the south and east side, as you can see, traffic moving along just fine through Antioch. It will not always be this way. Traffic will slow down a little bit later in the morning, but right now we're doing fine. Well, coming up, over a year after Tyree Nichols had his unfortunate death, his parents are now pushing for accountability. We're going to tell you what they want from the tenant.
Currently leased 800 Flint Ridge Drive in Whites Creek, Davidson County. Bid live or online Saturday, March 9th at 11 a.m.
See us on the web at comusmontgomery.com.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Well, now on Fox 17 News this morning, the investigation continues after a small plane crash next to the interstate in West Nashville. We're going to tell you what we know about the several people who have died. Plus, a new report on the use of force by Metro Nashville police officers. We're going to break down the data and what it reveals.
Waking up in the 60s and dry right now, but only for Nashville. Already tracking showers and weak storms making their way closer to the metro area coming up in your forecast.
All right, Greg, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. It is a Tuesday morning, just around 4:30. I'm Justin McFarland. We do continue to follow the breaking news out of West Nashville this morning. That is where Metro Police confirmed to us that several people were killed in a small plane crash that happened along I-40 last night. You can see the wreckage of the plane right here behind me. It was just a few feet away from the busy interstate there in West Nashville. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joins us live over from West Nashville along I-40 near American Road, Charlotte Pike, if those familiar with that area. Karen, what is happening right now, and how much more do we still have to go?
Well, the first thing I want to say is that our hearts go out to the families of the people on board the plane that lost their lives. CNN reports that 5 people died as a result, and we are working to confirm that. Officials say the crash happened behind this Costco alongside I-40 East. You can see that there is police crime tape here, so this is as close as we can get, and there's a police car here. We are told FAA might already be here, who is part of the investigation, along with NTSB. Authorities are working with federal agencies to figure out where this plane came from. Metro Police spokesperson Don Aaron says the pilot reported engine and power failure at around 7:40 last night before bursting into flames into the shoulder of Nashville's Interstate 40.
According to witnesses, the plane was coming over the I-40 area from the north and then crossed over the lanes of the interstate and then crashed there just behind the Costco on a grassy median.
At this time, we don't know the ages, the genders, who these victims were, but we are working to identify them. FAA and NTSB is investigating the circumstances surrounding this incident. When we get more information, we'll bring that to you. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Karen, thank you so much. 4:32 is the time. Nashville's Police Community Review Board is now releasing new findings about the use of force by Metro Nashville Police. Now, the report looks at everything from the way that holds are done to weapons used to police dogs. Looked at it all between 2018 and 2022. The Community Review Board says that the data shows that black people accounted for 60% of the use of force situations in 2022, compared to 28% of white people, according to this report. But critics in law enforcement say that the report doesn't paint the full picture.
Targeting bad. They are not targeting color or rape. They're targeting crime because the people are demanding that we do the job.
Do you think that this data is fair?
This is a bottom-up approach to public safety, and we're committed to it, and we stand behind every piece of data that's in this report.
Now, the last voice you heard right there was Alicia Adcock. She is with the Community Review Board. She says that the report includes a list of recommendations for Metro Police. The police department did issue a 5-page response pointing to lots of inaccuracies in this particular report. Let's get to Greg at 4:33. Quick look at your forecast.
Yes, let's do it. And here we go. Rain right now on top of the radar. We told you yesterday that this morning was going to be one where I'm tracking showers that are not well organized, and it's going to be hit and miss all morning. So umbrella, you're packing one, and maybe even a little bit early if you're in the Columbia area, Lawrenceburg, Centerville. All this activity pulling to the north and to the east throughout this morning, and it will eventually make its way toward the Nashville area proper here. And I'd say about the next hour, at least a few sprinkles will still be remaining of these really broken up showers and weak rumbles of thunder. I've had a couple of reports of some lightning, but nothing happening right now. Thompson Station, you're seeing some decent downpours. Give it 15 minutes, then lighter rainfall will move in for you. Franklin, you're not seeing much of anything yet, but you're going to have that decent downpour move in your direction. Leapers Fork, about 15 to 20 minutes until the rain picks up. This is nothing to worry about. It's just going to slow us down this morning. No severe weather, but 1 to 4 inches of rain by the end of the week. Multiple rounds of rain are going to be out there. The umbrella is going to be one of your best friends. Umbrella, raincoat, rain boots, whatever you do to get through a day, that's where we're going today. I will track the afternoon and evening when the rain gets even more prevalent across the radar and much more across southern Kentucky as well, coming up in your forecast.
Steer clear traffic out there this morning. Let's take a quick look at what we're dealing with here on I-40. This is close to American Road, where Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar was just reporting for that plane crash out there on I-40 in American there in West Nashville. Interstate is open. I want to emphasize that it was shut down overnight while crews were out there doing their investigation, but no problems out there right now. Just watch out for crews as things could get busy in this area yet again once the sun comes up. Other than that, we're okay. This is I-65 Trinity Lane on the north side. Things rolling along very nicely there. We're going to let you know when things start to tighten up and what you can do about it with Steer Clear Traffic live through 9. Continuing coverage this morning with Operation Crime and Justice as the 4 fired Memphis police officers are facing murder charges in the death of Tyree Nichols. That case is set to go to trial in May. A 5th former officer has already pled guilty. Now, Tyree Nichols was killed last year during a traffic stop. Officers initially said they pulled over Tyree Nichols for reckless driving. Officers can be heard shouting 71 commands in around 13 minutes on a body cam video as Nichols begged the officers to stop beating him. Now Tyree's parents are insisting that lawmakers pass further measures to be able to hold police departments accountable when officers use excessive force.
Myself and some of the other ladies that have lost children to gun violence and police violence we are trying to set up a meeting with the President of the United States so we can discuss this further with him.
Well, right now, the Wells family is trying to push back against the House Bill 1931, which would give states more authority to regulate local police agencies. Well, coming up, France has voted to permanently add abortion rights to their constitution. We're going to tell you how this push was related to events here in the United States. And explosions overheard overnight will be leading some residents in one city to be warned about the...
With 27 competitors.
This is the biggest tournament of champions ever.
Weeknights at 5 on Fox 17.
.39 is the time. Want to take a live look there in Detroit, Michigan. This is where a warehouse fire is still burning this morning. You can see some of that smoke rising there. We're going to have more of that video coming up here right now. As a matter of fact, let's take a look as the industrial fire caused multiple explosions. You can see them right there. This happened in a suburb of Detroit. Police say that the massive fire broke out last night at the distributor's facility in Clinton Township. This is near Detroit. They say debris was being thrown into the air. Look at that shot as firefighters attacked that fire there at the warehouse. Police are still not sure exactly how this whole thing got started. They're asking people to stay away from the area because of the air quality. It could be dangerous. They say that Select Distributors says that its it does supply things like phone accessories and items for discount stores inside of that warehouse. Well, lawmakers in France voted overwhelmingly to approve a bill that adds a woman's right to have an abortion to the country's constitution. The historic vote yesterday took place at the Palace of Versailles. The French Parliament passed the legislation by a vote of, listen to this, 780 to 72. Okay? The French president proposed a move to prevent the kind of rollback on abortion access that has been seen in the United States over the past few years. Abortion has been legal in France for almost 50 years and is supported across most of the political spectrum there in France. That is clear by those overwhelming votes happening there in their particular Congress. Parliament, I suppose, for them. Let's get to Greg.
Let's take a look here what we're dealing with when it comes to this morning, and the weather is going to be very warm, but also on the rainier side. Nothing happening yet. Downtown, 62 degrees here. A live look at Lower Broadway. Calm and very warm. That's what our temperature should be, but clouds have taken over. What does it mean for your morning drive? Very warm, waking up in the 50s. A few showers are going to move in. We're going to see those showers take over little by little. Not everyone gets rain at the same time, and not everyone gets rain in general today. This is a very hit and miss kind of a day. All clear when it comes to our code red threat level, which means no severe weather, no dangerous cold temperatures, nothing like that. But definitely could hear a clap or two of some thunder later on this afternoon, and rain chances every day in the forecast until we hit Sunday. Here's the rest of this morning. You can see 4 o'clock through 7. Not much happening just yet, but going toward the afternoon, coverage area increases. This afternoon toward this evening, you may be driving through some rain here, so just give yourself a little extra time as you head out.
Clear, clear traffic for you this morning at 442. Quick look here at the interstate system as we get you going on I-24. This is at Shelby in the middle of downtown Nashville. Keep in mind, the construction has begun out there on the brand new Nissan Stadium, and because of that, you can look for a lot of trucks carrying equipment, things like that are going to be jumping on and off at this interstate over the next few years. So keep that in mind. But right now, no big problems out there. We're going to show you the situation out west with that plane crash coming up here in the next few minutes. Well, coming up, an investigation reveals issues with Boeing as they are involved in major air travel incidents. We're going to tell you more about that. Plus, Elon Musk could be in the hot seat as the former Twitter executive
to win a Happy Hiller Club membership, a $1,000 or $5,000 Hiller gift card.
I wish you would have said that earlier.
4:45 is the time. The CDC has changed its guidance on COVID isolation last week and is already leading to some confusion across the country. Fox News' Mike Emanuel has more about this from Washington.
It was a big change that came 4 years after the start of the COVID pandemic. The CDC announcing on Friday it's dropping its recommendation that those testing positive for COVID isolate for at least 5 days, saying instead if they've been fever-free for 24 hours and aren't feeling sick, they can return to school or work. That puts COVID on the same level as the flu, reflecting the downgraded risk since the early days of the outbreak.
The first time I got it, I was fully sick for more than a month. It seems like it's just gotten less bad as viruses do over time, you know.
But the guidelines are also causing a significant amount of confusion. Healthcare providers are reporting an uptick in calls from COVID-positive patients unsure whether they should be isolating, while some doctors worry we could see a new surge from people not taking the proper precautions after testing positive.
I don't want to necessarily send, though, the signal to the general public that somehow we now think that you are no longer capable of spreading this disease just because it's been 2 or 3 days.
There's also uncertainty about exactly what to do if you head back to work or school and you're still infected. Most doctors recommending sticking to the standard mitigation efforts.
That person, he or she, should still be wearing a mask. If they're not, I would encourage them to do so.
Meanwhile, we're learning more about how long COVID develops. A new Cambridge University study pinpointing low iron levels after infection as the probable cause. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
4:47 is the time. An audit on Boeing shows that the plane involved in the Alaska Airlines incident failed quality manufacturing requirements. Now, the FAA says that the audit found that Boeing's 737-9 MAX had a door plug blow out in mid-flight. It had non-compliance issues, according to Boeing, and their manufacturing process. An independent panel says that the senior management and other employees disagreed on safety issues and claims there is a lack of protections for workers who report safety problems. Now, last week, regulators gave Boeing 90 days to provide a plan to address the issues in its safety culture. Looking ahead to this Sunday at 2 a.m., it'll be time to move your clocks forward. Some of you don't even have to do that anymore. It's all digital. But they're doing this for daylight savings time. That means we'll start having more daylight in the evening as we move closer and closer to spring and summer. Now, Tennessee passed a law back in 2019 which calls for a move for daylight savings time year-round, but Congress still needs to sign off on it, and they have not done so yet. So we want to know what you think about this. Should Tennessee get rid of daylight savings time or keep it? You can see right now 73% of you say lose it. Another 26% of you say keep it. If you want to chime in for yourself, you can do so by scanning that QR code right there on the screen. Or, of course, you can go to our X page, formerly known as Twitter, and you can find us over at Fox Nashville. Let's talk to Greg Bobis right now. He has tried to warn us about the time going up this weekend, so you're not caught off guard.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're going to have a sunset, though, Justin. Sunday and Monday, close to 7 p.m.
Wow.
But we do lose that hour of sleep. That Monday is always one of those days where we go, oh, boy, there's kind of that jet lag feeling where you're getting up and the sun's not up yet. It usually is. It's that time of the year. Taking a look at future tracks, starting you off here at 1 p.m. We're not going to necessarily be seeing thunderstorms at this point, but definitely some showers and some decent downpours tracking through the area. It gets a little more advanced going toward 4 p.m. We'll be in the 70s. Sun trying to break through the clouds, you can see here, and that will give us a few isolated claps of thunder. No severe weather. I have to stress that. No signs of it, but definitely an unsettled pattern. What I mean by that is sometimes you get that one line of showers and storms that just moves all the way across the area. That is not us. These are going to pop up, then die down, then pop up. So any hour of today, your neighborhood could see a shower or a weak thunderstorm. Keep that in mind. it's not going to be a washout by any means. More dry hours than rainy hours, but that rain lingers through 3 a.m. and then finally moves out here as we go into the afternoon tomorrow. Get a little bit cooler, but not bad. Your 7-day forecast here goes from 73 today to 69 degrees tomorrow, right near 70 on Thursday and Friday as well. The only cool days are going to be Saturday into Sunday. So you have a later sunset on Sunday, but it's the coolest day of the entire 7-day forecast at 56 degrees.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning at 4:50. Quick look here at what we're dealing with on I-40. This is I-40 close to American Road. They're moving the TDOT camera around as for the first time in a while. We've seen investigators out there with flashlights walking around. This is the scene of that plane crash there at I-40 at American Road. That plane crash as debris up into the right side of the screen. Investigators I just saw them walking around out there with flashlights a short time ago. The interstate is open there. Again, these are live pictures from the scene of that plane crash on I-40, courtesy of TDOT. The interstate is open. You can't get by. It was closed for several hours. We're watching this along with other things around town, and we'll continue to do so live through 9. Well, do you remember when Elon Musk took over Twitter and immediately fired some key executives? It all happened last year. Well, now they're suing him. The group includes the former CEO, CFO, and the chief legal officer. They say that Musk owes them around $128 million in severance pay. That money was never paid because Musk claimed they were fired for gross negligence and willful misconduct. But they say he has no proof of any of that. Lawsuit claims that Musk was trying to withhold that money as a form of revenge. That's because the group claims he was forced to go along with their $44 billion acquisition after spending months trying to get out of it. Sounds like a real mess there. They'll settle it in court at some point. Well, now it is award season, and your movie knowledge can help win you some extra cash by playing the Hollywood Trivia game. Now you can grab your phone, scan the QR code right there on your screen for your chance to win a $100 prepaid debit card. Get the answer right, and you could win the $100 daily prize. Daily prize winners will also be eligible for the chance to win a weekly $5,000 drawing. Again, just scan that code right there on your screen, and the Hollywood Trivia question of the day will be coming towards you. Well, coming up, 3 unique geese are looking for a family. We're going to tell you why they've got to stick together. And the boom in apartment construction.
And you get a lifetime guarantee. Relax.
Budget breaks. Breaks starting at just $100.
Relaxing.
4:55 is the time. Live look there along Lower Broadway where the streets are dry. They haven't cleaned the streets as of yet, but traffic is moving along without issue. They're doing their normal beer run, getting those bars restocked. By the way, the Preds in action tonight as they host the Montreal Canadiens, looking for win number 9 in a row. We're going to see what they can do when around 17,000 packed Bridgestone Arena right in this area, coming up a little bit later tonight. Well, to help celebrate Read Across America, our own Jen Waddell spent some time reading to the pre-K students at the Goddard School over there in Hendersonville. Look at that. Okay. It looks like everyone had a good time sharing the story. However, some children don't get to have the same joy of reading out there. Almost 2/3 of 4th graders in the United States struggle to read at grade level. Fox 17 News is partnering up with Reading is Fundamental and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcast, for Sinclair Cares, supporting children's literacy. Just scan the QR code right there on your screen to donate to our virtual book drive so you can make sure to contribute. In the meantime, let's get to Greg Bulbus. He's standing by with a look at your forecast that could include some rain showers.
Yeah, a few of them out there right now, Justin. Not for everybody by any means, but they're trying to creep closer and closer to the Nashville area right now. Lightning indicator is turned on. We got nothing coming down right now, but there have been a few flashes of lightning over the last hour. Right now, we're calmer. Areas like Pulaski get out toward Lawrenceburg. You got a little break. There'll be a few more showers that do track in, but you've dealt with the brunt of the rain so far this morning. And by the brunt of it, it's not by any means heavy, but just the areas that have been raining. Lewisburg, out toward Thompson Station, even Franklin right now. Franklin, you'll get out of this heavy downpour and then go into some more light rainfall. But getting up toward Brentwood, then Oak Hill, Nashville, all within the next half hour. This is breaking up, and it's trying real hard to stay together. So we'll keep tracking it for you about every 5 minutes going into the 5 o'clock half hour. I'll tell you one thing, this weekend going to be much cooler today. We have temperatures that are going to be in the low 70s. We're lucky if we hit 60 on Saturday, and we are stuck in the 50s on Sunday, Saturday being the rainier day.
457, quick look at steer clear traffic. Want to continue to follow that scene over in West Nashville. Our own Karen Aguilar will have a live look here in the next few minutes, but this is going to be I-40 at American Road. That is where we are continuing to follow that plane crash that happened around 7:40 last night. Again, this is a live look at the scene. We just saw investigators walking around with flashlights a short time ago. The interstate is open. You can get by, but just know the crews could stop traffic almost at any moment to continue their investigation there along I-40 American Road in West Nashville. We'll have a live report from the scene coming up in less than 5 minutes. Well, check this out. One animal rescue group in North Carolina is looking for a forever home for a unique trio of geese. They have to stay together because 2 of them were born without their eyes, but the third takes care of them as sort of a seeing goose. Now, seeing eye goose, if you get the phrase there. They need to stay in a fenced-in area to protect the blind birds. Their previous owner moved across the country and could not take them with them. The Carolina Waterfowl Rescue is looking for a home for the feathered family. An apartment boom and other slowing trends may be causing rent prices to actually fall. According to Redfin's chief economist, renters can expect a break as landlords lower rates thanks to an increase of available properties. Now, rental prices reached record highs last year, largely due to the high mortgage costs, but those have since come back down thanks to many newly built and vacant properties across the country. Well, get those lottery tickets ready to go. The Mega Millions jackpot for tonight's drawing has grown to an estimated $650 million. This is going to have a $308.6 million cash option if you get all the numbers. That's all you got to do is get all the numbers, right? The jackpot has been getting larger and larger since it was last won back on December the 8th, so no one has won it this year. They are still, there were rather 2 winning tickets in California. If there's another winner tonight, it will be the 7th, or if there's not a winner tonight, it will be the 7th largest Mega ever awarded out there. So you can go out there and get those tickets if you want to take the stab. I know we watch, I do every morning on the drive in, look at the interstate and go, how much is it? I don't know if it's worth a $2, charge to try to take a chance at being a multi-millionaire. 5 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, a fiery plane crash along I-40 killing everyone on board and shutting down the interstate for hours. We're live from the crash site with updates.
And the search for a missing teenager with autism continues. Now we are on day 8. A live look from Shackle Island in Sumner County as we are still working to get answers to find that young boy.
Yeah, a lot to get to, but we do want to start by thanking you for waking up with us here bright and early on a Tuesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're glad to be here for you and want to get straight to our breaking news updates.
This is a single-engine aircraft that had several persons on board. It appears that everyone on board perished.
That is the update from Metro Police regarding this plane crash and several people who were killed, everyone on board, when it crashed along I-40 last night. Imagine you're driving on the interstate And this is what you see. These are the moments from one of our Fox 17 News viewers right after that crash. You can see the flames right next to the interstate.
Wow. So Metro Police say the plane experienced engine and power failure and went down shortly after 7:40 p.m. Hours later, the scene on I-40 in West Nashville was still active. So right now we're showing you a live look. And the good news is that area, a part of I-40, the backup there, not there, and the road's back open.
Yeah, we've seen a few investigators milling around this morning. We do understand that crews are going to be on the ground starting their investigation. We have Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live right now. This is in West Nashville along I-40.
Good morning. Well, officials say a small plane crashed near this Costco behind me alongside I-40 East last night, unfortunately killing several. We are working to find out how many people were inside that plane and also the identities of those victims. I want you to take a look at your screen to what someone saw driving down I-40 East. The plane was engulfed in flames on the grass behind the road with pieces scattered on the ground. Officials say they weren't able to identify the plane and they are working with federal agencies to figure out where that plane came from and more about what happened. What we do know is that the pilot reported engine and power failure at 20 to 8 last night before bursting into flames into the shoulder of Nashville's Interstate 40, causing massive delays and the loss of those lives on board.
According to some witness information, their plane was obviously in distress as it was coming over the interstate right before it hit the ground. And again, Jimmy, coming in from the north, from a northerly direction to the south, he hadn't lined up as far as the interstate was concerned. I think he was having significant issues keeping the aircraft under control.
Officials say the FAA and NTSB is investigating the circumstances surrounding this crash. When we learn more of what happened, we will bring that information to you. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Karen, your voice, your vote. It is Super Tuesday, the day for Tennessee's presidential primary elections. A lot going on. We're also having some local offices that are also up for election.
Several other states involved in Super Tuesday as well. But if you're anywhere in Tennessee and you don't know where to go to vote today, you can go to govotetn.com to find out your options. We've got that posted over at fox17.com. Now, if you're in Davidson County, we're going to focus on Davidson County right now. You can go to maps.nashville.gov/polling place. This is a little finder for you that's also linked to our website, fox17.com, and this will show you all the polling places in Davidson County.
Okay, so when we talk about Election Day, weather is always top of mind for folks who are going to have to possibly stand in line. Greg, what's the forecast this Tuesday?
Unfortunately, some rain moving in. Not a lot right now on radar, but it's beginning to creep closer and closer to the Nashville area. What I would say is if you're going to go out there today, have the umbrella with you because there's no guaranteed hour this afternoon and evening especially that you're going to be 100% dry. This is going to be a very unsettled pattern for us here. I mentioned a few moments ago, Franklin, you get that downpour out of there. Well, it's moving away, but now Brentwood, about 3 minutes from right now, Oak Hill, Berry Hill, 15 to 20 minutes. Quick little downpour, but enough to where it's going to wet the pavement, and if you're stuck out in it, you're going to be soaked pretty quickly. No lightning, no thunder right now. Moving toward the Bellevue area in about 20 minutes, one more little pop-up, decent downpour. How do you know it's heavier rainfall? You look for the oranges and the yellows. Yes, make sure you definitely have the rain gear for today. What is the big rain story? Incoming rain, yeah, well, it's coming in right now. Could put a dent in the drought that we have. We'll take a look at that coming up in a few minutes. Also, great temperatures. Yesterday we hit 78 degrees. Today a high of 73.
Thank you, Greg. 5:05 right now, and steer clear traffic. Really the only thing that we're keeping our eye on right now is along I-40 at American Road. This is West Nashville, and this was the scene of that plane crash last night. It was a fireball on the side of the interstate. Once the sun comes up, you think about it, the plane crashed in the dark. It's been dark overnight. Once the sun comes up here in a little bit, we'll get a first view at what damage might have been done either to the interstate or the land right beside it. But that's really the only thing happening happening and steer clear traffic right now, so that's the good news. And you can see it's not impacting traffic. But we'll check back in here in just a few minutes.
At 5:06, we have continuing coverage as the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. They tell us they're shifting their focus, their primary focus, to the investigation of 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers' disappearance.
Yeah, interesting, as they say they're moving from their ground search to more of an investigative role. Photojournalist Madison Spraker joining us live this morning from Hendersonville, where you can see the Emergency Management Agency still has their truck set up right there at the Shackle Island Volunteer Fire and Rescue. I was out there yesterday. I had a chance to speak to some neighbors who live right across the street. This is near Beach High School, who said that it has just been sleepless night after sleepless night. People praying, hoping to find Sebastian Rogers.
Yeah, Rogers was last seen February 26 near Beach High School.
Right, so here we are, day 8. The search operations, which at one point did include the National Guard, we saw them out there yesterday, now going to scale back and work more on a standby mode, ready to be, jumping into action at any moment if needed.
Let me be clear that this does not diminish our commitment to finding Sebastian. This is simply us transitioning from the ground search to the investigative side.
Sebastian's mother, Katie Proudfoot, spoke on a podcast over the weekend saying he went to bed Sunday night around 9 and was not in his bed at 6 a.m. Now, she also says that she called the stepfather, Christopher Proudfoot, who says he was out of town. The search, as we talk about it, is ongoing, so we're going to have continuous updates, and we're going to hear from other members of the search party.
Yeah, in fact, Fox 17 News had a chance to speak exclusively with Sebastian's biological father, and we will be hearing from him right here live through 9.
Coming up, a woman is charged for running an illegal daycare with her baby, where a baby passed away last year. The felony charges just added for this case.
And a deadly shooting at an apartment complex now has
weather up.
In Operation Crime and Justice, a Bellevue woman accused of running an illegal daycare where a 3-month-old died last year is now facing felony charges.
Yeah, this is the case of Ann Jordan, accused of running that daycare out of her apartment, watching 6 other young children when that 3-month-old died. Police later found Ann Jordan at a state park after police say she had seriously hurt herself. Jordan now faces aggravated child abuse, endangerment, and operating a daycare without a license.
Metro Police are also now searching for a suspect for yesterday's deadly shooting at a Bordeaux area apartment complex. And then we first brought you this story as breaking news. Again, this was Monday morning.
Yeah, we sure did. Metro Police now confirm that Samuel Edwards Jr. was the person shot and killed at the Overlook Ridge Apartments on Buena Vista Pike. He did go to the hospital, and that's where he died. Officers say whoever shot and killed him followed Edwards into the apartment complex, but police right now say they don't know why. So if you have any information, please call Crime Stoppers. That number is at the bottom of your screen. It's 742-7463.
5:11 our time, and 3 things to know heading out the door for the rest of this week. Well, number 1, we're tracking showers and storms today and tonight, and we'll even go 1A with that. We'll be tracking showers and storms tomorrow and Thursday and Friday. Very active week ahead of us. The good point, though, the bright side, no severe weather all the way through Friday. 70s, or at least right near it today, tomorrow, and also on Thursday. But yes, we're going to be working through some rainfall here that could add up to 1 to 4 inches of rain by the end of the week. Days away from spring. We're 14 days away when the calendar actually literally says spring on it. And yeah, March 19th, the official date. Right now, we are very warm. We're even warmer than yesterday morning, 62 degrees. A couple of clouds out there for right now in Nashville, but rain's getting closer and closer. If you're in Franklin, Brentwood, you know what I mean. It's all moving from the south. When I see you next here in about 5 minutes, we're going to take a look at the current radar. We'll track what is out there, and we'll also look at future track and move it through the afternoon, this evening, and into tonight, planning it hour by hour for the rest of your day.
Greg, thank you so much. We do want to check back in for the scene over there at I-40. This is where the crash site is for the plane crash yesterday. Now you can see right here on your screen, the area is back open after a closage area. This area is blocked off for hours yesterday, but as of right now, we're not seeing any of the impacts, so we'll see more of that crash site though as the sun does rise.
Big story developing just yesterday. We've got the latest this morning. The Supreme Court ruling that puts former President Trump back on the ballot in certain states, and what his primary opponent, Nikki Haley, has to say about it.
And one is,
but I like it.
Let's never leave.
Introducing a new home collection. Discover it all at Kohl's.
Injured? Call America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Good morning. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 5:15 is your time on this Tuesday. It is March 5th. We've got a live look over at Nissan Stadium. By the way, in case you missed it last week, we had the official groundbreaking for the new stadium. So much change is going to start happening over this way on the East Bank. And we'll be there for it to let you know how things are progressing as your live local news source every weekday morning through 9 a.m.
Let's talk about national headlines now. Former President Donald Trump applauding the decision from the Supreme Court yesterday, which found he should appear on the 2024 primary ballot over in Colorado.
Yeah, a Republican frontrunner calling yesterday a big day for America.
I want to start by thanking the Supreme Court for its unanimous decision today. It was a very important decision. We're very well crafted, and I think it will go a long way toward bringing our country together, which our country needs.
This all follows months of debate focused on a part of the 14th Amendment, which says officials who have, quote, engaged in insurrection are disqualified from holding office. The thing that they could not prove here in this case was, well, what defines an insurrectionist? States like Colorado, Illinois, and Maine were trying to kick Mr. Trump off of their state primary ballots because of what happened January 6th. So the U.S. Supreme Court ruling in Donald Trump's favor.
And Nikki Haley is Trump's last remaining rival for the Republican nomination, and Haley agrees with that Supreme Court decision. Take a listen here.
We don't ever want some elected official in a state or anybody else saying who can and can't be on a ballot. This is America. This is America. Look, I'll defeat Donald Trump fair and square, but I want him on that ballot.
Super Tuesday could mark a turning point for Haley's 2024 White House bid. That's today. The former South Carolina governor has vowed to stay in the race at least through today's contest.
She won the Republican primary in D.C. over the weekend. That's her first victory of this campaign season. Former President Trump has dominated every other early nominating contest.
And a Fox 17 News health alert starting Friday this week. Free at-home COVID tests from the U.S. government will no longer be available to Americans.
The Department of Health and Human Services, that's HHS, says it's now suspending free COVID tests after a drop in the number of cases. The CDC also eased up COVID isolation guidance recently. Did you hear about this? They're claiming you no longer have to isolate for 5 days if you test positive. HHS will still provide tests at places like long-term care facilities, through food banks, through public health centers, and even through schools. They say people who place orders for free COVID tests on or before this Friday will still get them. All right, but they're ending it on Friday. They said the program may come back in the future. What does that mean? I guess if they see a resurgence of something, they would bring it back. We'll see.
Let's check in now with your Tuesday forecast. I know you're keeping a close eye on the radar. Some showers popping up depending on where you are.
Yeah, a couple of them out there, nothing too big. One or two booms of thunder the last hour, but for the most part, they've just been some decent, quick, little small downpours. Let's get you to the radar, take you through this morning, and then take you in toward the afternoon and evening when the radar gets a little more active than it is right now, but the rain trying to move in, almost making an arrow in the direction it's going. Just notice this, but take a look. You can kind of have that arrow pointing directly this way, and that's where all of the rain is moving. So let's take a look at one thing that I did notice here when it comes to the showers. We'll zoom it in, and all these are kind of doing what we're calling training, or we call that in weather, where they've got enough atmospheric push where everything down the line from it kind of feeds off of it. They're kind of going, you know, think about a NASCAR race when the car behind kind of gets a little extra push from the car in front because there's less wind. Well, In this case, rain showers kind of building off of each other. Now, they are moving off, though, toward the north and toward the east. You can see that here, a 1-hour loop of this shower system moving in. Not a lot of lightning here, 1 or 2 strikes here or there every once in a while. The leading edge of it, though, Brentwood, you're already getting a couple of light rain showers. Smyrna in about 15, 16 minutes. Antioch area about 15 as well. If this holds together, it could clip the southern edge of Nashville, but not seeing much rainfall yet in that area. As far as the morning goes, relatively calm through 7 o'clock. It really will be late morning into early afternoon. We get some sun. We get some warming into the 70s, and then scattered showers will fire up and die down very quickly, and there will be a few more isolated thunderstorms through 8 p.m. and into tonight. Still not seeing any worries about severe weather. So if you're a couple of rumbles, nothing to worry about, but just definitely have ways to get alerts and always have the Code Red Weather app to look at the top of the radar in real time.
Sarah, clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you out to I-40. This is at American Road. This is over there in West Nashville, where we are continuing to follow the investigation into that plane crash. I'm sure the FAA will be back out there a little bit later in the morning once the sun comes up so they can see the full wreckage here. And this could result in some lane closures. But right now, we're wide open and smooth over there on the west side of town near American Road. This is going to be I-24 Haywood Lane, also looking very nice out there in that area. No big slowdowns or problems. The drive time's all on the green. We'll continue to watch things for you as we move on this morning.
Justin, thank you. Just about 5:21 right now. There's a meeting happening in Washington, D.C. today that's going to have some people scratching their heads and other people concerned about U.S.-Israel relations.
That's because Israeli War Cabinet Minister Benny Gantz is holding meetings with Vice President Kamala Harris. Gantz is a top political rival of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And Israeli officials say he does not represent the government during the visit.
So why is our White House meeting with him? President Biden already facing criticism from fellow Democrats about his handling of this crisis in Israel. And of course, as it involves Hamas, the death toll mounting. Now, ahead of this meeting, Vice President Kamala Harris told reporters that they would be talking about getting a hostage deal done, getting aid in, and securing a 6-week ceasefire. But again, Mr. Netanyahu says this man does not represent the leadership from Israel.
The president and I have been aligned and consistent from the very beginning. Israel has a right to defend itself. Far too many Palestinian civilians, innocent civilians have been killed. We need to get more aid in. We need to get the hostages out. And that remains our position.
White House officials say Gantz requested the meeting. National Security spokesman John Kirby notes that the administration has been dealing with all members of the War Cabinet. Gantz, by the way, is expected to go ahead and meet with Secretary of State Antony Blinken sometime today as well.
We have state lawmakers here in Tennessee that have passed a bill that would punish 15-year-olds who steal guns or who are involved in organized.
I love to have fun. I love to be silly.
You seem to create this show that is unbelievably candid, vulnerable, and authentic. Thank you for making this.
Watch the Drew Barrymore Show, weekdays at 11 on Fox 17.
.25 is the time, and new this morning, Tennessee lawmakers passed a bill that allows 15-year-olds who steal guns or who are involved in organized retail theft to be charged as an adult. Now, adult sentences for crime are much higher than it is for juveniles. Lawmakers believe this is needed to hopefully make some teens think twice before stealing guns, which of course is a massive problem here in Nashville. Especially make them think twice before stealing from businesses like what we've seen recently over at Green Hills Mall.
You see mobs of people descending on businesses, and when that happens, that has real that has real effects on the owners of those businesses. It results in real monetary losses for small business owners. Unfortunately, what it's not resulting in now, a lot of the time, are real consequences for the criminals who are committing these acts. This puts consequences in place.
The need to do something is there. And I do understand that, and I agree with it. I believe that too. But I believe that this is the wrong tool to address this problem. I do not think transferring 15-year-olds to adult courts is the resolution to the problem of firearms being stolen out of vehicles or retail thefts happening.
Now, this does still need to go through the Senate and the governor's office before it becomes actual law.
Here for you this morning, taking a look at how we're starting off the day, and this is what we're dealing with. A few pop-up showers and weak thunderstorms to kick off the day. It's not going to be an all-day event, not even close to it here on Future Track. You can see through 7 o'clock, little light to moderate showers will be continuing to pop up. Not much happening in the Nashville area just yet, but if you get down toward the south and the west, areas like Franklin, you have Columbia, Lawrenceburg, Lewisburg, you've already seen some rain. You got some wet pavement to kick off the day for you. The afternoon, we get the heating of the day, and that will bring in more thunderstorm activity. This is not severe weather, though. Heavy rainfall through southern Kentucky as we go late afternoon. Here's 4 p.m. and then overnight tonight. These flare-ups possible for everyone. Many dry hours, but also no guaranteed dry hour for anyone this afternoon or this evening. Our weather pattern is just very unsettled, but it's calm enough to keep us away from severe weather. And your Wednesday does look much better when it comes to the overall trajectory of what's going on. Nothing in Nashville just yet. Right side of your screen, current temperatures, low 60s. We're waking up really warm here. We'll go for the low 70s later on today, and we'll work you into your weekend coming up in the 5:30 half hour.
Steer clear traffic this morning takes us out and about to I-24. This is at Waldron Road. You make that drive in from Laverne. Good morning to all of you. Looking smooth out there so far. No big problems on the roads other than that plane crash aftermath that we're watching over in West Nashville, but even that has a very tame traffic at this particular moment in time. Could pick up later in the morning. Right now, everybody in the green from Mount Juliet to Murfreesboro to Hendersonville. All of these times, every single one will be going up before the end of the morning. Well, coming up, learn more about voting on this Super Tuesday as we speak to Nashville's election administrator.
A plane crash kills several alongside.
Weeknights at 5 on Fox 17.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Electronic Express. We make it happen. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. Right now on Fox 17 News, the investigation continues as a small plane crashes right next to the interstate in West Nashville. This is a look from the scene overnight. We'll take you back out there live this morning and get you updated on the number of people who have been killed and what we're expecting to happen over the next few hours.
And a look here, Nashville skyline, not much happening just yet, but rain only a little while away just to the south of downtown. We'll track it in and how long it lasts throughout the day coming up in your forecast.
Steer clear traffic takes us to I-40, in a place we're going to spend a lot of time focusing on this morning. I-40 American Road, where we are looking at the aftermath of a plane crash. We're going to tell you how this could impact your traffic coming up in a few.
So much to get to, but let's start by thanking you for waking up with us here on a Tuesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Let's get right to the breaking news we are following this morning. This is in West Nashville, where Metro Police do confirm 5 people have been killed after their small plane crashed along I-40 last night.
Right behind us here, you can see some of the wreckage of the plane that is left just feet away from a very busy interstate. So right now we're going to get right to Fox 17 News reporter Kieran Aguilar joining us live from West Nashville. And Kieran, you have been following the very latest updates. What can you see behind us when you talk about this investigation?
Well, first I want to say that our hearts go out to the families of people that lost their lives in that plane crash last night. Metro Police says that 5 people died as a result, and at this time we don't know the identities of those victims or their ages, but we are working to find out. Now, in regard to the plane crash, officials say that it happened near that Costco behind me alongside I-40 East. You can still see the scene is active. There's crime tape here in a police car. Officials say the FAA has been here investigating, and the NTSB is expected to be here later today. I want you to take a look at your screen to see what someone saw driving down I-40 East yesterday. The plane engulfed in flames on the grass behind the road, with pieces scattered on the ground. Officials say they are working with federal agencies to figure out where the plane came from and more about what happened. What we do know is that the pilot reported engine and power failure at 20 to 8 last night before bursting into flames into the shoulder of Nashville's Interstate 40, causing massive delays and the loss of those lives on board.
When the crash did go down, it did, as witnesses described, implode on impact. That impact was catastrophic and did not leave any survivors.
Again, the FAA and NTSB are investigating the circumstances surrounding this crash. When we have more information, we'll bring it to you. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
5:34 your time here, waking up in the 60s this morning, on our way to the 70s this afternoon. And we're tracking a little bit of rain. We talked about it yesterday, how this morning and tomorrow morning would be a little active on the radar, and to just, get moving a little more quickly, because not a lot of rain happening anywhere near the Nashville area just yet, but it's moving closer and closer to Nashville. I want to point out this. Even though we have rain and we have some decent downpours that are happening, we have no lightning and no thunder as of right now, and any thunder that you hear later today is not going to be severe weather. This is moving from the bottom left-hand side of your screen to the top right-hand side, so areas like Murfreesboro and Smyrna eventually work into the rain. If you're in Eagleville, if you've been down through Thompson Station, Leapers Fork, you get out toward Brentwood, Franklin, Lewisburg, Lawrenceburg, you've already got the rain that has come down, so watch out for some wet pavement out there. But this will cut across I-24 here in the next half hour. Keep that in mind. Up toward Nashville itself, again, we're not there yet. Bellevue, Oak Hill, and Brentwood again. You're just getting rid of one little shower. You're bringing a few more. So 65 north up toward town, heading up toward Nashville. Definitely seeing a little bit of rainfall to kick off this morning. Nothing we can't handle by any means. And taking a look at your 7-day forecast, these are temperatures that we can definitely handle. Yesterday, we hit 78. Today, 73. Tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, all right near 70, but more showers and storms to bookend the week. We'll talk about that next push of rain for Friday and Saturday coming up in the next look at your Code Red forecast.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning at 5:35. A quick look outside towards where that plane crash has happened overnight, and that is going to be I-40 and American Road. The aftermath of that plane crash wreckage is right here on the shoulder of the road. Traffic can get by, but later in the morning, once investigators arrive out here, they're going to have to park somewhere, and a lot of times it's alongside the interstate here. We'll see a lot more once the sun comes up. Other than that, we're doing okay. This is I-40 at Spence Lane over on the east side of downtown. Also looking very nice out there this morning. I've got your latest drive times in the oven. I'll present those to you coming up in a few.
Justin, thank you very much. 5:36 is the time right now. Getting you updated on some international headlines as France votes to permanently add abortion rights to their constitution. How that push is related to what's happening here at home.
And a new set of
Stone.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 5:39 is the time right now. A live look into downtown Nashville. It is Super Tuesday. We have presidential primary elections happening in states across the country, including right here at home. Not only that, but some of our localities have other elections. So I just want to encourage you that if you did not early vote, make sure you get out today. And if you need a resource to find out your best polling spot, just head to fox17.com.
In world news now, lawmakers over in France voting overwhelmingly to approve a bill that adds women's rights when it comes to an abortion to their country's constitution.
So this vote happening at the Palace of Versailles, the French Parliament passing that legislation by a vote of 780 yeas to 72 nays. The French president proposed this move to prevent the kind of abortion access prevention that he says is happening here in the U.S. Now, abortion has been legal in France for about 50 years and is supported across, they say there, the political spectrum.
Well, Monday we had lots of sunshine. Today some showers in the forecast.
Yeah, unfortunately, a little bit of nuisance rain here this morning into afternoon and evening. What to expect here for the rest of the week? Rounds of rain and thunderstorms, not going to have any severe weather. Now, that could always change Friday into Saturday, but for right now, not worried about that. More so steady rainfall here. And you could get a few pockets of it that are heavier at times. 1 to 4 inches of rain are going to come down between now and Saturday. Right now, though, we are at 62 degrees. A couple of clouds have built in Nashville. Rain really close, though. Showers just south and then moving slowly into the Nashville direction. There will be some rain here later on this morning. I'll keep my eyes out on the radar. For right now, we're just cloudy, up and out the door. We're good to go overall when it comes to a weather influence. We are warm. And again, no fog this morning compared to yesterday morning, which is great as well. Moving forward throughout the forecast, we're going to keep everything all clear for Code Red, but I am going to track those rain chances that we have every day coming up in the next look at your forecast.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Quick look here at I-40 near Smith's Lane. This is over on the east side of town. Traffic moving along there without any issue. We're doing really nice out there so far this morning. No big problems. And that goes for some of our major cities around the mid-state this morning. From Mount Juliet in 26 minutes. Murfreesboro 49 minutes. Hendersonville 27 minutes in from the north side in Sumter County. All of these times will be going up as the morning goes on. But right now, we're doing just fine.
Justin, thank you so much. Coming up, Elon Musk could be in the hot seat as former Twitter executives claim he shortchanged them when he was fired.
Monday, shop one of the year's biggest furniture sales. Get 30% off your entire purchase or get 0% interest for 5 years with 0 down. Shop the Orange event at your local Ashley.
At 5:44, we do have some breaking news in politics this morning. Former President Donald Trump's lawyers, they are asking a judge to reject a gag order in his hush money criminal case. Lawyers arguing the order would hinder Trump's ability to counter public attacks regarding the ongoing case. Now, the hush money case is scheduled to be the first of 4 criminal indictments against Trump when it comes to his trials. This news comes just one day after the Supreme Court ruled that Trump should appear on Colorado's presidential primary ballot. It's a massive victory for the Republican frontrunner.
Erica, thank you. 5:45 national headlines right now. New rules could soon be in place that would protect airline passengers with disabilities. Airlines could be held more accountable for damaged wheelchairs. The U.S. Department of Transportation proposing new standards that would hold airlines accountable for mishandled wheelchairs, which could include things like enhanced employee training, also improving overall standards on the planes for how to transport wheelchairs. It's estimated 5.5 million Americans use a wheelchair and may encounter problems when flying.
They did replace my wheelchair, but I wanted to make it not just replace my wheelchair and sweep me under the rug like they've done with probably hundreds of other people disabled as well. But this needs to be corrected. It needs to be corrected for the better for all of us.
Now, the Department of Transportation says just last year, more than 11,000 wheelchairs and scooters were mishandled and then damaged by the carriers. You think about it, right? Someone who uses a wheelchair, they get to their destination, they're returned the wheelchair and it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's not a good situation.
Absolutely
at
not.
All.
No.
Let's talk about Twitter, though. We also understand that we're seeing some backfire when it comes to Elon Musk. There is a group that includes the company's former CEO, CFO, and chief legal officer talking about this. They say Musk owes them more than $128 million when it comes to severance.
Yeah, they claim that when Elon Musk fired all of them, they never got paid. Well, Elon Musk says he fired them for gross, negligent, and willful misconduct of Twitter. But the former employees claim he has no proof of that. So the lawsuit claims that Elon Musk is trying to withhold that money as a form of revenge. The group claims that he was forced to go through with the acquisition after spending months trying to get out of it. So that was, they say, his way of getting revenge. We'll see how this pans out. That's a lot of money, though. We're talking billions.
Oh, yeah. Hey, by the way, this weekend, I was surprised to hear that time changes. It seems earlier than in previous years.
Yeah, it kind of bounces around the calendar a little bit week to week. It's always early March. Sometimes it's like, the 2nd, the 3rd. Sometimes it's the 9th or 10th. That's just one of those things.
Springing forward.
We're springing forward and we're losing sleep.
Lose an hour.
Oh, just
Saturday
a little
night.
bit.
So listen, check your alarm so you're not late for church on Sunday.
Good point.
Very good point. Yes, taking a look here. This is that weekend where it happens. You'll get that extra daylight at the end of the day, but you also are going to wake up and go, wait a minute, it's supposed to be light outside. Yeah, we lose that hour at the beginning of the day. Future track. We are looking at a little bit of rainfall. It's going to track through the area for us here. This is not going to be an all-day event, but you can see a few isolated showers that are popping up already. Everything so far this morning is south of the Nashville area. That will continue to move to the north. And I will tell you this right now, afternoon toward the evening, that is when things really do ramp up for us here across the board. You can see taking us to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. This is one of those days where it's not going to be a guarantee who gets what when. What I mean by that is we're so unsettled that a little burst of sunshine a half hour later could lead to a pop-up shower or weak thunderstorm that goes through 4 p.m., takes us into the evening hours and into the overnight as well. We're not trending for any severe weather, but just please have an umbrella. I don't want you to get poured on later on today, and try to find the gaps when you can. Get the Fox 17 Code Red weather app, because if you can, sneak outside for a little bit when it's not raining, you're going to have 70-degree temperatures again. Look at this 7-day forecast. I mean, we're still hovering right near, if not above, 70 degrees. 73 will be your temperature today, and then we hover right near 70 for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Rain chances, unfortunately, do go back up. If you've got Friday plans, Friday evening plans, or Saturday morning plans, know that we will have some showers and thunderstorms. As of right now, still no severe weather, but that will bring in a cold front. And the weekend does just that. It cools down. 60 degrees on Saturday, 56 on Sunday, and there is that time change. You will have that extra daylight. I will tell you right now, your sunset on Sunday and Monday is going to be close to 7 p.m. nighttime temperatures. The next 4 days continue to be in the 50s. Right now, right side of your screen, we are in the lower 60s.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get started here at 65 at 24 on the north side. That is where we are dealing with a disabled vehicle there on that north side as you make that drive down from Madison, Hendersonville, Goodlettsville, Millersville, all points north out there this morning. Not causing big delays, just something to be aware of as you get out and about in that area. We continue to follow the scene over in West Nashville. The sun is starting to come up. They switched the camera from black and white to color, so we're starting to get a better look at that wreckage there left over by that overnight plane crash on I-40 near American Road in West Nashville. We'll have a closer look at this scene, but right now not clogging any traffic, at least not yet.
All right, Justin, thank you very much. 5:50 right now. Today, as we've been mentioning, is Super Tuesday, and voters here in Tennessee and across the country are heading to the polls to cast their ballots for the big one, which is the 2024 presidential primary.
Joining us live right now is the Nashville election administrator, Jeff Roberts. And Jeff, we do want to ask you, in comparison to previous years, what was the early voting turnout for this year?
The turnout for this election was a little lighter than we had in 2020. We had about 28,000 people showed up to vote, and that's 40,000 were in 2020.
All right, so about half the number. So I was mentioning the big one being the presidential primary, where folks are going to choose their Republican or Democratic candidates. But we have a lot of localities that have other elections going on top of that.
Correct. All of the counties around Davidson County also have elections going on, so you really need to check with your local election commission to find out what races are being held today in your locality.
Anything new that you would want to tell folks about today, Jeff, before they head out to vote in person? Any changes, any updates they should be aware of?
No real changes. We'll be open from 7 to 7 today. Just dodge those raindrops that Greg was describing and pick a good time to come out and vote.
And then a quick reminder, too, I know you share with us what you need to have when you do show up. Do you want to remind folks real quick about what they need to have? Do I need to have anything on me when I show up?
It's pretty simple. Just bring that photo ID. Can be your state-issued driver's license, gun permit, something like that, or it can be a federally issued photo IDs, like your passport.
All right, Jeff Roberts, the Nashville Election Commission there. Jeff, thanks for watching Greg's forecast this morning. We appreciate you. We know you're tuning in, and hope we have a great turnout today across the mid-state.
Well, coming up on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, 3 unique geese are looking for a family. We're going to tell you why they have to stick together.
And a new flavor of creamer for your morning coffee. All right, as you're getting that coffee ready.
FlexPath format. You can earn your nursing degree without putting life on hold. Imagine your future differently with Capella University.
5:15 is the time this Super Tuesday, giving you a live look at the Nashville skyline. And listen, yesterday we had lots of sunshine. It was hot out there. Today, though, we were keeping a close eye on the radar for a little pop-up shower. So do keep that in mind if you're heading out to the polling sites.
Yes.
Maybe just pack your umbrella.
Good call. Yeah, worked up a sweat going for a walk outside yesterday.
I did too.
I had my sweatpants were a little too warm, so I'll change that up. But hey, I want to get to some other headlines for you this morning, and a really special one for all of us here. Yesterday kicked off Read Across America Week, and Erica and I and some other folks here at Fox 17 News are going to be out reading in the community. And I just wanted to say thanks to all the kiddos at the Goddard School in Hendersonville. They were very good listeners, and if you look at the title of the book that I read to them yesterday, they were in fact on their best behavior.
I love that.
Yeah, it was a really great day, always a good day to read a good book. So thanks so much to the Goddard School in Hendersonville. Erica, you're going to be out reading
in Gallatin.
In Gallatin, is that today?
Today.
All right, so if you guys have a place where you'd like for us to come read to your children, all you have to do is let us know. We'll do it any day of the year. But you know what, as much as we love being able to do that, we also recognize that there are so many children who don't have the joy or the privilege of getting to read good books. In fact, there are so many kids right here in the U.S. Who struggle to read at their grade level. And so Fox 17 News is teaming up with Reading is Fundamental and our parent company, Sinclair, for Sinclair Cares, supporting children's literacy. If you'd like to scan this QR code on your screen right now, it will allow you to donate to our virtual book drive.
That is fantastic. Also fantastic at 5:56 is our dog of the day. You really have to stop and look at this dog. A looker.
You were already sneak peeking, weren't you?
I did.
Look at Barkley.
So cute.
That
stunning photo
is a beautiful dog.
Those eyes are just.
April, how do you tell Barkley no?
You don't. You flat out don't. Like if I say, Barkley, do you want a treat?
That
April's getting up off the couch right now.
That is like the picture perfect golden retriever.
This just screams, I can't wait to get home, no matter how my day was.
Aww.
Beautiful picture. Thank you, April. You can see we don't have snow in the forecast. We have showers and storms, unfortunately. Not going to be severe weather, but not the best walking weather necessarily. We're going to have wet paws, wet fur. Keep that in mind. Temps will be in the 60s here this morning. Looking into the afternoon, we'll get out of the 60s, back into the low 70s. But there's no hour of the late morning and afternoon that I can guarantee you you're going to be dry. So how do you stay dry? Fox 17 Code Weather app, just tap the radar button. You can find those little gaps in the rainfall. You can always go to Facebook to send your dog of the day. All you do is go to meteorologist Greg Bobus and find that pinned post at the top of my page.
Still clear traffic out there this morning. Let's get a good look again over in the West Nashville area. We've been following this scene throughout the night, and now that the sun is coming up, we're getting more and more details about how large the area is that police are looking into and what's going to be happening here. This is going to be on I-40 and American Road over in West Nashville. You can see the wreckage right off of the interstate there at I-40. Now we can even see where the police lines are right back here. They've set up the crime scene tape, and investigators will be arriving later today to look at not just the plane that has crashed, but also the fire damage done as well. We can see a little bit better idea of that kind of damage here. All the grass that was burned up as a result of that. So watch out for that as you get out and about, as they may stop traffic later in the day. But right now we're okay. This is north side, 65 and 24 at the junction. We're doing okay, even though this will tighten up as the morning goes on.
Justin, thank you. Hey, check this out. One animal rescue group over in North Carolina is looking for a forever home for a unique trio of geese. We're going to tell you why they're unique. They have to stay together because two of them were born without eyes. But then the third geese takes care of them as sort of think of a seeing-eye goose. They need to stay in a fenced-in area to protect the blind birds. Their previous owners moved across the country, and they just couldn't take care of them.
Aw, so Carolina Waterfowl Rescue is looking for a home for this entire feathered family. This, I imagine, will be a story that is trending. I'll see if we can't get it posted over on the website. That way, if you want to check them out, maybe you can help. All right, we were talking just a minute ago. It's coffee time. You're probably putting the creamer in the coffee. Would you put creamer in your soda? Would you put creamer in your soda? Well, Coffee Mate and Dr. Pepper are hoping that you do. They're collaborating on a new creamer flavor that they're calling dirty soda.
Well, now we have to try it.
See, this is the kind of stuff that makes me wonder if we're getting punked. Like, is this real?
It's not April Fool's. Yes.
You're right. It's not April 1st. I don't know. They say that they're doing this coconut lime creamer that is intended to be poured into a Dr. Pepper to create what they call a dirty soda.
I'll tell you what, though, it is unique.
Have you heard of this?
Never.
You guys, is this a thing? Apparently, it is a social media trend that started a couple of years ago.
Dirty soda. Okay.
No, thank you. I like mine clean.
Stay with us. Our 6 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, a fiery plane crash along I-40 kills all 5 people on board and shuts down the interstate for hours. We have the latest updates live from the scene.
And right now, Fox 17 News is live in Sumner County, where the lights are on inside of the Sumner County Emergency Management Agency as the search does continue into day 8 now for the missing 15-year-old with autism.
A lot to get to, but we do want to thank you for waking up with us here on a Tuesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're glad to be your live local news source here for you through 9 a.m.
This is
All right, we apologize for the technical difficulty there. We were hearing from Don Aaron, a spokesperson from the Metro Police Department, who is now confirmed in this breaking news update that 5 people have all died when their small plane crashed on I-40 last night.
This is video from a viewer of the moments immediately after the crash, and right here on your screen you can see the intense flames spewing right next to the busy interstate. Imagine that. So Metro Police say the plane experienced engine and power failure, ultimately going down shortly after 7:40 p.m.
Now, hours after that, the scene on I-40 in West Nashville is clear, and we do have a live look now from our TDOT camera. We can see what looks to be perhaps a Metro Police car on scene here, and you can see the wreckage area off to the right shoulder there in the grass. Traffic is moving freely, but we have an update now from Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live there now.
Good morning. Well, the latest update is that Metro Police says 5 people have unfortunately died from that crash that happened near Costco behind me alongside I-40 East. And you can see that the scene is still active here behind me. There's crime tape in a police car as officials are working to find out the clues to figure out what happened. We're told that FAA has already been here on scene since about midnight to figure out the circumstances surrounding this incident. That NTSB is expected to be here later. They are working with local agencies to get some more details. At this time, we don't know the identities of the victims. We don't know if there were children on board, but we do know is that this crash happened around 7:40 last night, and it came to a shock to people who were looking at it, especially to Stephen Jones, who is across the road on I-40 East. Stephen, can you tell me what you experienced during those moments?
It was just a moment of just mystery. I heard it, I felt it, and then I saw it. It just was very scary. It was sudden and just seemed like people were reacting. I heard skid marks and people.
What did you see?
I saw the flame. I saw the ball of flame. It was across the road. It was. It looked like a bonfire at first, and then it just kind of exploded, got bigger and bigger, and it looked like that there was a trail of fire, and trees down, and debris. And it was just a scary emergency type of situation.
Right, and inside that small plane, officials say, I don't know if you just heard me say, 5 people were on board and died. What's your reaction to that?
My reaction is very sad. I'm sad. I'm very sad that those people perished like that. And God, God was with them, and it's just sad.
Thank you so much, and our hearts go out to the families of the people that died as well. Again, we are working to identify those victims and potentially see if we can speak to their families for some perspective as to what might have happened. Now, the FAA and NTSB are investigating what happened during this crash, and if we have any more updates, we'll bring them to you. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
6:05 our time, taking a look at our forecast. Dry overnight, but now rain moving in here for you this morning. It's very hit and miss in nature, but it's moving pretty quickly when it comes to these little cells that are just trying to find a little oomph to push to the north and to the east. So Columbia, Lawrenceburg, you get out toward even Lewisburg. You just kind of are exiting here. A little bit of a shower. Rain moving into Shelbyville. You're going to go from lighter rain to more moderate rainfall. What I mean is just a little bit heavier. No thunder, no lightning. I'm going to watch for it all morning, but so far no real indications of anything that's put together enough to give us any thunder. Taking a look, for the first time this morning, Nashville is in one of my tracks. If this little line of light rain showers holds together in the next half hour, you're going to be seeing things happening here really in the next 15 to 20 minutes. We can start seeing a couple little raindrops that are coming down. Our most decent downpour is a little off toward the east. So Smithville, Gordonsville, up through Carthage, Watertown, next 25 minutes. You'll have a chance to get a quick little downpour. These only last about 10 to 15 minutes, but they will wet the pavement, and if you're out right in the middle of it and don't have the umbrella, that's not a great start to Tuesday, so grab it just in case.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get a good look here at I-40 at Fessler's Lane. This is over on the east side of town. Just picked up this crash a short time ago. It's shut down one lane there to the outside as you make your way into town this morning. You can try to take Elm Hill Pike if you want to steer clear Hermitage Avenue, which is this area right along in here. That'll get you along the same direction as the interstate will. A tow truck pulling up in place now to hopefully get this crash out of the way so it won't be much of a problem for much longer. Of course, we continue to follow that scene over in West Nashville. This is where our own Karen Aguilar is, at least very close to this. You can see the wreckage here on the shoulder. Metro Police watching over it until investigators get back out here later in the day. That is when they could be closing more lanes down again.
We have continuing coverage now as the Sumner County Sheriff's Office is shifting its primary focus, they say, to the investigation of Sebastian Roberts' disappearance. So they're explaining what that means exactly.
Right, and we can see that difference this morning. We are live in the Shackle Island community of Hendersonville, thanks to our photojournalist Madison Spraker. Definitely a scaled down presence this morning. This location right here at the Shackle Island Volunteer Fire and Rescue has been command central for, well, this is the 8th day now, and we can see that they have definitely scaled back their presence here. They are transitioning now to more of a standby mode, and they're still in place and ready to act on any leads when it comes to finding Sebastian, but they're also now moving more toward an investigative mode. Now, specifically what that means, we are still working to find out. But again, in case you have not been following the story, Sebastian Rogers, 15 years old with autism, has been missing now for 8 days. We had a chance to speak exclusively with his biological father. Listen in.
They're definitely doing everything that they can to find my son, and I thoroughly appreciate it. And I hope that they find him every day. I'm waking up hoping that they find him.
Seth Rogers is who you just heard from, and he says he last saw his child 2 weekends ago. Sebastian's mother, Katie Proudfoot, spoke on a podcast over the weekend, saying he went to bed Sunday night around 9 and was not in his bed at 6 a.m. She also says that she called the stepfather, who you just heard from, the stepfather, I should say, who says he was out of town. Fox 17 News has asked Seth about some of Sebastian's hobbies that could have helped the public find him. And he says that his son likes fishing, playing video games, animals, and also plants.
State lawmakers have passed a bill that would punish 15-year-olds who steal guns or are involved in organized.
It's just $149 now through Saturday. Shop online or at all Electronic Express locations.
Tracking storms, what you'll need to prepare now for the week ahead. Today at 5:30.
New this morning, Tennessee state lawmakers passed a bill overnight that would allow 15-year-olds who steal guns or who are involved in organized retail theft to be charged as an adult. Now, adult sentences for crimes are much higher than they are for juveniles. Lawmakers believe this is needed to hopefully make teens think twice before stealing guns, which has been a huge problem here in Nashville, or from stealing from businesses like we've seen in areas like Green Hills Mall.
I remember as a child, stiffer punishments got my attention. And when my dad told me there were going to be consequences for things that I'd done, I paid a stiffer consequence for that. And I feel like when we continue to pat people on the back and slap on the hand and tell them, don't do it again, it's not working.
But I can assure you, based on data and evidence, threatening to lock them up in an adult detention facility has no impact whatsoever. And in fact, the data actually shows that when you put children in adult detention facilities in that environment, it actually has the reverse impact.
Now, all of this still needs to be approved by the Senate and by the governor. We'll let you know how far it goes. Steer clear traffic this morning. We're talking about I-40 here at Fessler's Lane as you make that drive out and about. We were just dealing with a crash over here in the east side of town. Thankfully, they've gotten that out of the way. Looks like we're dealing with a couple of rain showers here over the last few minutes. It's the way it looks, at least. Lights are on. Streets may be wet, so we'll watch out for any impacts coming up here in the next few minutes. Speaking of that, Greg Bobus will have a look at that forecast.
Know about severe weather before it happens. Download the Fox 17 Code Red weather app.
Alarming firefighter shortage.
Thursday on Fox 17 News at 9.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 6:15 is the time. A live look from Nashville, where we are tracking showers to start your Tuesday morning. It is Super Tuesday. It's Election Day in Tennessee and across many other states. We've got the presidential primary and local races. Just know you might be dodging those showers, as Greg just mentioned, and we'll help track them for you so you can know what to expect throughout your day.
And talking about politics, want to let you know former President Donald Trump is applauding the decision from the Supreme Court, which found he should appear on the 2024 primary ballot over in Colorado.
Yeah, the Republican frontrunner calling yesterday a big day for America.
I want to start by thanking the Supreme Court for its unanimous decision today. It was a very important decision. We're very well crafted, and I think it will go a long way toward bringing our country together, which our country needs.
Well, that decision does follow months of debates focused on part of the 14th Amendment, which says officials who have, quote, engaged in insurrection are disqualified from holding office.
This decision ends efforts in states like Colorado, Illinois, and Maine that were all trying to kick Mr. Trump off the ballot because they claim his role in the January 6th riots would have disqualified him. But again, the Supreme Court ruling in his favor.
And Nikki Haley is Trump's last remaining rival for the Republican nomination. And the former South Carolina governor agrees that the Supreme Court decision is in her opinion, correct. So listen here.
We don't ever want some elected official in a state or anybody else saying who can and can't be on a ballot. This is America. This is America. Look, I'll defeat Donald Trump fair and square, but I want him on that ballot.
Super Tuesday today could mark a turning point for Nikki Haley's White House bid. The former, as Erica mentioned, South Carolina governor and former UN ambassador has vowed that she will stay in the race at least through today's contest. She did win the Republican primary in Washington, D.C. Sunday. That was her first victory of this season. 6:17 is the time right now. We have a health alert here on Fox 17 News this morning. As of this Friday, those free at-home COVID tests from the U.S. government will no longer be available.
The Department of Health and Human Services says they are suspending the free COVID test program after a decline, they believe, in case rates. The CDC also easing up on those COVID isolation guidance. That was last week they made those changes. However, they're also going to still provide tests each week to places like long-term care facilities, food banks, health centers, and schools as well. The HHS says people who place orders for free COVID tests on or before Friday, you will still receive them. And they also said, interesting, people are pointing this out, that the program may come back in the future, assuming that COVID rates go up. So just have to see what happens there.
Let's get a check of that forecast. Right now, we mentioned it is Election Day across Tennessee. We have a lot of families whose kids play spring sports, trying to dodge rain showers today. So a lot of impacts, Greg.
A lot of impacts, a lot of moving parts. We're going to break it down for you. Justin and I were sitting over here and we literally went, ooh. Hit the radar during the commercial. I'm going to show you why right now, because this is how this morning is trending for us, where showers pop up so quickly, get a little intense when it comes to the rainfall rate, and then they just die down and become nothing. This is our radar picture. Look at Nashville. Just looks green, right? Let me zoom in. Take a look at what happened here in the last half hour. This is only 30 minutes. We go from nothing, sprinkle, boom, downpour. That's how we've been this morning, so keep that in mind. We're going to have some rainy spots here that are going to be just like this throughout this morning into the afternoon and the evening. Taking a look to the north and east, so the leading edge of this system that's beginning to pick up a little bit of steam here, moving toward Hendersonville, Old Hickory. I'd say Old Hickory 15 minutes, Hendersonville 20 to 25. Now, here's the catch. As quickly as they pop up, they can die down. So it may not make it to you, but if they hold together, here's your timeline. When we're tracking all morning long, this is how it's going to be. I can't guarantee you that they don't just fizzle out, but I want you to have the heads up so you don't get rained on. Taking a look here, Carthage, about 10 minutes or so, Gordonsville, 8 minutes. These are not thunderstorms, but they're decent little downpours. Yellows and orange telling you that the rainfall fairly good as far as how quickly it comes down, but it also moves out quick because of the tiny little cells we've got here. A few more of them will take you. Watkins right now moving in, Smithville 5 minutes from right now, and Cherry Hill 21 minutes. I'll keep my eyes glued to the radar. Next time you see me, we're going to look at the future radar, future track taking you through the rest of your Tuesday and into your Wednesday. Radar actually more active later today than it will be this morning. That's the next emphasis in your forecast.
Steer clear traffic out there this morning. Let's get you to the north side. This is going to be I-65 at the Fern Avenue overpass, dealing with a disabled vehicle there on the shoulder of the road. This is the second one within a couple of miles there. You've got another disabled vehicle further back at I-65 at the 24 junction, which is further back around the bend that way. But this is the other one that's sitting here on the shoulder of the road. No emergency crews. Not sure if anybody's even there yet, but we'll continue to watch it for you. When I say anybody's even there, I mean in the car still. That's what I mean. There on the shoulder of the road. We continue to watch that scene over on I-40 and American Road. This is the leftovers of that plane wreckage. I've seen TDOT arrive a few moments ago. Don't see him now, but there's going to be lots of crews on the scene as the sun is now up. And more importantly, you notice this? People slowing down to take a look at it. That's going to happen a lot as well.
All right, Justin, thank you. Yeah, please be careful out there, folks. And, you know, when you slow down to look at something like that, that can have a negative impact on our traffic. So please be safe out there. Switching gears this morning now, the father of Michigan school shooter Ethan Crumbley is starting a trial today.
Jury selection begins over in Oakland County. That happens again later today. James Crumbley faces 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Last month, the jury found his wife guilty of those identical charges. Jennifer's team tried to pin blame on James for buying the gun their son used to kill 4 students at Oxford High School back in 2021 and then not locking it up. Ethan Crumbley is now 17 years old. He pleaded guilty to 24 counts and was sentenced to life in prison without parole.
6:21, taking a look at some sports headlines here on your Tuesday morning. Did you see or hear the emotional goodbye from the man who many would say is the greatest Eagles player of all time? Mr. Kelsey announcing his retirement. We'll take a listen.
His brother crying too. Hey, and the Preds taking on Montreal tonight at Bridgestone. We're going to tell you what to expect as they try to keep a long winning streak. And let's just say thank you for waking up with us every morning here on Fox 17 News. We are your only local station with your traffic and weather updates live from 4 all the way up.
We'll get them. We always do, right?
Tonight at 8 on Fox 17.
Watch Crisis in the Classroom only on Fox 17 News.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning.
The Philadelphia Eagles will have to soar into next season without their All-Pro center, Jason Kelsey. Do not confuse him with his brother.
No.
Not Travis.
Not Travis.
Jason.
Yeah. Announcing his retirement just yesterday. Jason Kelsey playing his entire 13-year career with the Eagles. His parents, his brother, Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelsey, all there. Justin, I have to tell you, I was watching this yesterday, and I was I'm not even an Eagles fan. I was crying watching Jason Kelsey crying. He could not even get his words out.
No, he couldn't. A very emotional scene there for the Eagles. You see him there with his family. Of course, he, along with the rest of the Philadelphia Eagles, won Super Bowl 52. Kelsey was the center for quarterback Nick Foles and went on to play in 7 Pro Bowls. And what's most impressive here is he was a 6-time All-Pro, which is a bigger award than going to the Pro Bowl. He's going to be eligible for the Hall of Fame in 2029.
Looking ahead to tonight, we'll stick with some sports news this morning. The Preds taking on the Montreal Canadiens in a home ice matchup. And listen, Nashville is hot right now.
They certainly are. They've won their last 8 games in a row, okay? And they're looking to extend it to 9 when they take on the Canadiens tonight at Bridgestone Arena. And they also just had an extension to tell you about. Their forward, Tommy Novak, just signed a 3-year contract to stay in Smashville.
Good stuff. Puck drops tonight at 7 o'clock. Now, you might have to dodge a few showers here and there if you're going downtown. 3 things to know in your forecast for today is that, first of all, we are tracking those showers and storms today going into tonight, staying in the 70s, and no signs of severe weather through Friday. So yes, we might see pop-up storms and showers here and there, but nothing of the severe nature. We'll check in with a more in-depth look at your forecast with Greg Bobus in just a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic this morning. We continue to follow the scene north of town. That's going to be I-65 at the Fern Avenue overpass. We've got a disabled vehicle over there on the shoulder of the road, not causing big delays, at least not yet, but we know that right now is the time when the traffic starts to fill in there from that north side. Also, we received a little bit of a downpour across downtown Nashville in the last few moments as well, so the streets are going to be a little bit wet. You can see everybody with their lights still on, despite the fact that the sun is up. We continue to follow the plane crash scene on the west side, I-40 at American Road. So heads up as you make your way out there, as crews will begin to arrive to continue that investigation.
There's a new report out on the use of force by Metro Nashville police officers. We first brought you this story yesterday. We're breaking down some new data even further this morning.
Coming up, I'll tell Tex.
We've been breathing this.
Lots of people don't realize that mold feeds off moisture in their crawl space. But don't worry, we got this.
At AFS, we'll do a home inspection for free.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, the investigation continuing after this small plane crashed next to the interstate in West Nashville. We now know 5 people are dead. We're live with the very latest updates.
And this morning, the search for a missing 15-year-old continues in Sumner County. But there is a shift now in this case. We're going to let you know what that is, and we're going to hear from one volunteer who says this hits really close to home for her.
And it was a very hot and sunshiny Monday, but showers on tap this Tuesday, on Super Tuesday. We'll tell you how long the showers are going to stick around and what to expect throughout the rest of the work week.
Thanks so much for starting your Tuesday with us here on Fox 17 News this morning. It's Super Tuesday. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
And I'm Erica Glover. We're going to get right to our breaking news update, talking about the plane crash over in West Nashville. We're showing you some of the damage right behind us here, and we now know 5 people are dead.
Happening just after rush hour last night west of Nashville. And as Erica mentioned, we've learned that 5 people are dead. This happened right along and off to the shoulder of I-40. And just feet, really from the interstate. So we're getting updates this morning and also waiting on investigators to get here this morning. We have Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live.
Good morning. Well, this is as close as we can get to the wreckage, but officials say the plane crash happened near Costco behind me, past that crime tape and the police car alongside I-40 East last night. Officials say the FAA has been on scene investigating what happened. The NTSB is set to arrive later today. That crash, unfortunately, killing 5 people, according to Metro Police. This is a video someone saw and took while driving down I-40 after the plane made impact. It burst into flames instantly, with smoking on the grass behind the road with pieces scattered on the ground. Officials say they are working with federal agencies to figure out where the plane came from and more about what happened. What we do know is the pilot reported engine and power failure at 20 to 8 last night before bursting into flames in the shoulder of Nashville's Interstate 40, causing massive delays and the loss of those lives aboard. That cell phone video you just saw was taken by Stephen Jones, who gives us his reaction.
All of a sudden I see some flames and I'm like, something's burning over there. So I needed to go take a look. And as I went through the trees, I saw this big ball of flame.
He also says that his prayers go out to the families of those who lost their lives in that tragic plane crash last night. The FAA and NTSB are investigating. When we get more updates, we'll bring them to you. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. Now to continuing coverage for the search for the missing 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers over in Sumner County.
Yeah, Fox 17 News has been out in Shackle Island this morning. We were live out there, and we know that community has now spent more than a week canvassing miles trying to find Sebastian. That missing 15-year-old has autism, and that fact alone hit close to home for Kendall Schwint. She also has autism and has spent the last 7 days looking for him. I had a chance to talk with her. Listen in.
I just worry about Sebastian so much. He has autism like me, and he doesn't know me. I don't know him. Me and my dad have been searching for 7 days to search, and we haven't not found him yet.
I just want to say thanks to Kendall for talking with me yesterday. This is emotional for her and so many neighbors in that community. Fox 17 News will continue to bring you any developments live from Shackle Island, where we know search crews are scaling down their search efforts, but at the same time are ramping up their investigation.
6:34, looking at your forecast here this morning. Starting up with top of the radar because rain is now starting to take over a good chunk of the viewing area. We're not really worried about thunderstorms. I'm keeping this sound right here. This keeps track of how many lightning strikes. Oh, we just had one. That's the first one in the last hour that we've had. Don't worry about thunder, but some decent rain coming down. Even some rain in the Nashville area. So the Vandy area, Berry Hill, Oak Hill, Belmead, Nashville itself, right downtown, and then going off toward the north and the east. Say maybe you're hopping on 40 trying to go toward the airport. You're going to catch a couple of showers here in the next 15 minutes. Not a lot of rain yet, but that's going to scoot towards your area, and that will continue up toward Old Hickory. Hermitage, you're seeing a little bit of rainfall right now as well. This is by no means a big deal this morning. It is just going to give us wet pavement, and if you're stuck out inside and don't, or if you're stuck outside and don't have your umbrella with you, you're walking back indoors a little bit on the wet side. We'll keep tracking this for you. I have a brand new version of Future Track coming your way in less than 10 minutes. Your 7-day forecast, and we're meeting our dog of the day. Many things coming your way here in just a few.
Steer clear traffic out there this morning. Let's get you to I-40 at American Road. I wanted you to take note. Listen, we've been watching this thing all morning since we went on the air at 4 a.m. At 4 a.m., people were flying past this like it wasn't even there. This is that plane crash happening over in West Nashville. Been there since 7:40 last night. The wreckage right over here. As soon as the sun came up, we started to see this. It's a slowdown, and they're not slowing down because of the move over law. They're slowing down to look at the wreckage. This is going to cause a bit of a backup there in the West Nashville area as you head towards, I believe, no, that's coming back the other direction. This is going into the city, going into Nashville. So heads up in that area. If you want to avoid this altogether, you can take Charlotte Pike. You will never even see it.
Justin, thank you. In Operation Crime and Justice, Nashville's Police Community Review Board is now releasing new findings about the use of force by Metro Police.
I first talked about this yesterday morning, so let's get some more details now as we've had a chance to look through this report. It examines everything from prisoner holds, you could say, to weapons that are used, to police dogs that are engaged. And all of this comes between 2018 and 2022. Now, the Community Review Board says that the data shows Black people accounted for 60% of use of force incidents in 2022, compared to 28% of white people. And then obviously there's a certain percentage that would be considered other. But critics and law enforcement say this report does not paint the full picture.
Targeting bad. They are not targeting color or race. They're targeting crime because the people are demanding that we do the job.
Do you think that this data is fair?
This is a bottom-up approach to public safety, and we're committed to it, and we stand behind every piece of data that's in this report.
Alicia Haddock, who you just heard from there with the Community Review Board, says the report does include a list of recommendations for the Metro Nashville Police Department. The police department issuing a 5-page response pointing to inaccuracies they believe are in that particular report.
Taking a look at some international headlines that are coming in here on this Tuesday morning, we go to France, where they just made a controversial decision regarding abortion in that country. We'll take you there with an update.
An explosion.
Serve. Call Ponce Law 615-244-4321.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Destin Fort Walton Beach, Florida.
In world headlines from overnight, lawmakers in France have voted to approve a bill that would add a woman's right to an abortion to that country's constitution.
The historic vote took place there in France yesterday at the Palace of Versailles. The French Parliament passed the legislation by, listen to the number, it's jumped out at me and Jen, 780 to 72 was the final vote. Now, keep in mind, here in the United States, we only have 535 members of Congress, plus the president and the vice president. So a significantly larger group of people there. The French president proposed the move, and it did pass.
6:40 right now. We want to get you updated on a big breaking news story from overnight. An industrial fire causes several explosions to pop off in a Detroit suburb from overnight.
They're asking folks in the area to be careful. Police say that the massive fire broke out last night at a distributor's facility in the Clinton Township area that's very close to Detroit. They say debris was being thrown into the air.
Police are right now working to find out exactly what's burning in that distribution warehouse, asking people, as Justin said, to stay away. They are concerned about the air quality as of this morning.
Air quality here in Nashville, hopefully a lot better. Let's get to Greg.
Yeah, much better here than it is out there. But taking a look here, we got the rain situation to deal with here back home. Future track showing us where it's going to be going throughout the morning into the afternoon. We do have some scattered showers that are out there as we speak. We would tracking those for you in less than 10 minutes. I promise you, but I want to get you through this afternoon. Watch more green and yellow develop on the radar. We get the heating of the day. We're going to be in the 70s, right side of your screen. We're already in the low 60s. So we're starting off warm, we end warm, but that heat and a little bit of sunshine. The chance for a few decent downpours, mainly in southern Kentucky when we get toward the middle to end of the afternoon. But this lingers overnight. Have the umbrella ready. No severe weather, but rain will be a nuisance through sunset.
Steer clear traffic this morning at I-24 at Waldron Road as you make that drive out there. Traffic actually not all that bad. Now keep in mind, a lot of schools are out today, so that can lead to lighter traffic here. Why are schools out? Because it is an election day or primary day, Super Tuesday here. So a lot of schools are used as voting locations, and because of that, they've decided it's better just to have no students there at all, so you can make sure everything goes smoothly. Because of that, traffic a little lighter in places like here, 24 Waldron Road. And from Laverne, we're going to give you the latest drive times coming up in a few.
And here we are more than a year since the death of Tyree Nichols, and his parents are pushing for accountability. The story that developed right here in Tennessee will tell you what they're demanding from our state legislature now.
And also coming up, an investigation.
This missing person.
Tonight at 7 on Fox 17.
If you've been injured in a car accident, call Pound Law from your cell phone. Morgan & Morgan.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 6:45 is the time, continuing Operation Crime and Justice right now. The 4 fired Memphis police officers who were facing murder charges in the Tyree Nichols case are set to go to trial now coming up in May. We had a 5th former officer who has already pleaded guilty.
Tyree Nichols was killed last year during a traffic stop. Officers initially said that they pulled Tyree Nichols over for reckless driving. Officers, though, in the video could be heard shouting 71 commands and 13 minutes of body camera footage while Nichols begged officers to stop beating him. Now, Tyree Nichols' parents are insisting lawmakers go ahead and pass further measures to hold police, in their words, accountable when officers use excessive force.
Myself and some of the other ladies that have lost children to gun violence and police violence, we are trying to set up a meeting with the President of the United States so we can discuss this further with him.
Well, right now, the Wells family is trying to push back against House Bill 1931, which does give the state more authority to regulate local police agencies.
6:46, in case you missed it overnight, the CDC has now changed its guidance again when it comes to COVID-19. And isolation in particular, and it's led to a lot of confusion. They're now saying if you have COVID-19, you don't have to isolate anymore for 5 days.
All right, well, Fox News reporter Mike Emanuel has more from Washington.
It was a big change that came 4 years after the start of the COVID pandemic. The CDC announcing on Friday it's dropping its recommendation that those testing positive for COVID isolate for at least 5 days, saying instead if they've been fever-free for 24 hours and aren't feeling sick, they can return to school or work. That puts COVID on the same level as the flu, reflecting the downgraded risk since the early days of the outbreak.
The first time I got it, I was fully sick for more than a month. It seems like it's just gotten less bad as viruses do over time, you know.
But the guidelines are also causing a significant amount of confusion. Healthcare providers are reporting an uptick in calls from COVID-positive patients unsure whether they should be isolating, while some doctors worry we could see a new surge from people not taking the proper precautions after testing positive.
I don't want to necessarily send, though, the signal to the general public that somehow we now think that you are no longer capable of spreading this disease just because it's been 2 or 3 days.
There's also uncertainty about exactly what to do if you head back to work or school and you're still infected. Most doctors recommending sticking to the standard mitigation efforts.
That person, he or she, should still be wearing a mask. If they're not, I would encourage them to do so.
Meanwhile, we're learning more about how long COVID develops. A new Cambridge University study pinpointing low iron levels after infection as the probable cause. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Mike, thank you. Let's talk about national news. There was an audit on Boeing showing the plane involved in the Alaska Airlines incident failed quality manufacturing requirements.
And so many folks say, well, if that was a problem, what else is going on that we don't know about? So many concerns here when it comes to our safety in the skies. The FAA says that their audit found the Boeing 737-9 MAX that had that door plug blowout mid-flight had non-compliance issues in Boeing's manufacturing process. They knew there were issues. An independent panel says that senior management and other employees were at odds on safety concerns. They were in a huge disagreement over safety. And this report also claims that there was an overall lack of protections for workers who tried to report safety problems. Last week, regulators gave Boeing 90 days to provide a plan to address these issues and its safety culture. We will find out what happens in that 90-day period and let you know.
All right, just about 6:50. Golly, I need some hot tea. Woo. Well, listen, today is Super Tuesday. Some folks are going to be dodging some showers depending on what time they head out today.
Cheese doodle.
Cheese doodle. Not for me. You heard me? I need some hot tea,
Why
not cheese doodles.
Why are you eating Cheetos? We got hot tea and we got cheesy poofs.
It's National Cheese Doodle Day.
It's National Cheese Doodle Day?
We have our own jam in the morning.
So does that mean I should give my doodle some cheese?
Ooh, they're not going to turn it down, tell you that.
No, you're right, they won't. You know they won't.
This is one of those mornings here where you get the warm cup of coffee, get the tea going. We do have some rain that is out there, but I'll tell you right now, this is not a morning to worry about when it comes to thunderstorms. There have only a couple of lightning strikes in the last 3-4 hours. I can count them on my hand. Literally, we've had 4 lightning strikes in the last 4 hours, so we're okay. Decent rainfall coming down right now, though we do have a few showers tracking through the area right now in the Nashville area itself. We're talking downtown through Vandy, Westmead, Belmead, Bellevue. Light green means very light rain, almost misty sprinkles here in a few spots. Sprinkles sound good too. Now I want a donut and cheese doodles. Taking a look here, going toward the east, we have Carthage down through Gordonsville. The yellows and oranges indicating a little bit heavier rain. And if you wake up with us every morning, I always point out that the hotter the color, the more decent the rainfall is and the more steadily it's coming down. This is going off toward the north and the east. One area that has not seen much, your first sprinkles of the morning in Manchester, Tullahoma, give it about 15 minutes. You'll get rid of the decent rain. It'll move up toward Manchester, so you'll get what's in the path. Taking a look here, 61 degrees downtown. We do have the wet pavement. That is from some scattered showers. And taking a look here, that is how we're working out this morning on the roadways. Warm, waking up in the 50s and low 60s on the right side of your screen. A few showers, relatively good to go when it comes to a weather influence. If that were to change, we'll change the light and let you know throughout the rest of this morning through 9 o'clock, and your current temperatures will stay on the right side of your screen all the way through 9 o'clock, even during commercial breaks. 73 today. 73 today. Yesterday was 78 degrees, so we're a little spoiled here when it comes to temperatures. Upper 60s to near 70 for your Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Once the rain dies down early tomorrow morning, and I'll track it for you, we do work into one more weather maker Friday into Saturday, and we do change the clocks Saturday night into Sunday. If you're waking up when the sun might still be set and going to bed when the sun sets an hour later, starting on Sunday.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
In Wisconsin, sunrise along Lake Winnebago's north shore with melting ice shards revealing the land beneath. Cleanup in Las Vegas after damaging weekend winds. A 68-mile-per-hour gust at the airport was the strongest in March since 1985. And in Rhode Island, water droplets mingle with the sun to form this rainbow in the sea spray.
Listen to Off the Radar. New episodes every Tuesday.
Steer clear traffic out here for you this morning. Let's get a look here at Vietnam Veterans Boulevard at Gallatin Road. You make that drive down from Sumner County. We're doing okay out there. Keep in mind, school is out for a fair amount of school systems out there today because of the election day. Still seeing some snags, though, in your traffic along Vietnam Vets. You want to take Gallatin Road if you want to steer clear of anything happening out that direction. Let's take a look at your drive times here for you. Starting in the yellow, Mount Juliet at 33 minutes, Murfreesboro over an hour now, 67 minutes in. Hendersonville, 32 minutes in along Vietnam Vets. Not as bad as it could be. We'll continue to watch the roads here for you.
Justin, thank you. 6:53 right now. The marketing team at Sugar Bowl Ski Resort met by a wall of snow outside their front door. Now listen, they pray for snow. They pray for snow. They need the melt. But this 10 feet of snow. We've been documenting the blizzard in California, but this is some of what they are dealing with right now.
Now listen, this is when they actually do need the bread and the milk.
Right.
Not for the stuff that
When
we
you
necessarily get.
Yeah, you actually have to dig your way out of your door. This video is showing that snow blocking the entire doorway. Now, what makes this even crazier is this video was captured from the second story of the house.
Excuse me?
They have like an entranceway up on the second floor. So, yeah.
So now they have to chip away and make a tunnel in order to get out of there, which, by the way, some parts of that area are expected to get even more snow in the coming weeks.
It's wild. I mean, like we said, this is so crucial for them because they need that snowpack, which, you know, turns into the melt, which fills the aquifers out there in California.
Yeah, and you know, some parts of the ski resorts there, they were saying that this was good for business because they're going to be able to extend the ski season.
Yeah, there you go.
Interesting.
As long as you can get there and get home. All right, 6:54 now. And an attempt at stealing hundreds of rare plants. You recognize those guys?
Yes, I do.
Does it make you think about a certain movie?
Yes.
Maybe Little Shop of Horrors? We're going to tell you what went down.
And coming up on Fox 17 News this morning at 7 o'clock, a nightmare situation for the parents of the missing teenager, Sebastian Rogers. Our Fox
Day, shop one of the year's biggest furniture sales. Get 30% off your entire purchase or get 0% interest for 5 years with 0 down. Shop the Orange event at your local Ashley.
6:57 is the time. Right now we are taking a live look of, well, not a sunrise. It's gloomy skies to start this Tuesday. It's kind of hard out there, especially after that sunny sky on Monday. Jen, you always say today's the day to just pack your own sunshine.
That's right. Put it in your pocket, carry it with you all day long. You're going to have to make your own today. It is Super Tuesday, so we have elections going on around the mid-states. A lot of our public school districts are closed. And for those of you who might have kids with outdoor sporting events, stick with us as we get into our 7 to 8 o'clock hour. We're going to track how the rain might impact your outdoor plans today.
Yeah, we do want to track, though, that radar for the showers that are on in different areas. How long is this continuing? And we have a dog of the day that's so cute, you really have to look at it. Oh, here we go.
Unfortunately for the dog walk in here, the rain is going to be on and off throughout the morning, afternoon, and evening. It started to move in about 3 hours ago, and now it's taken over a good chunk of Middle Tennessee. So, April, when you're taking Barkley out there, you're not going to have a snowy snout. You're going to have wet paws later on today. Keep that in mind. Maybe have the towel by the front door when we're getting back inside. Taking a look, 63 degrees at 9 a.m., 68 at noon, and 69 degrees at 3 p.m. As always, thank you to everyone who sends in their dogs the day. It kind of makes my day every morning. Dog walking forecast, you can see, lightning bolts here and there. It's not going to be storming and raining the entire day for everyone, but there will be activity on the radar somewhere across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky all the way through sunset. So just keep that in mind. Temperatures warm, though. Low 70s later today. low 60s right now. I want your photos. We want your photos. When I mean we, I mean my little friend right here. And I want your photos. Go to meteorologist Greg Bobus on Facebook. You can send in a photo right there. You find that pinned post at the top of my page, and that is where you can send in every one of your photos. Give us your name, dog's name, maybe where you're from. If you have a little fun story about your little four-legged friend, you can hear it and see it right here on Fox 17 News this morning.
Greg, thank you. 6:58 is the time. We do want to take a live look over at I-40. This is where the deadly plane crash was, and off to your right shoulder, you can see what is left behind from everything that happened yesterday evening. There's a little bit of a slowdown here, we can assume, from folks who are just slowing down, trying to see what is happening. Not a good idea. Just keep pushing forward. That road is back open. It was closed down for hours yesterday. Around 7:40 is when this happened. So we're going to continue bringing you live updates, not only from the scene there, but also telling you about the traffic in this area. The FAA is going to do an investigation and have some more updates.
This morning, we have 2 people accused of stealing nearly 600 Venus flytraps.
It's bizarre.
You can't make this stuff up. It happened at a nature conservancy near Wilmington, North Carolina. Somebody reported seeing 2 people going in and digging up these plants. And then those people were later tracked down at a nearby gas station. Police found all those Venus flytraps, look at them right here, in their backpacks. The people dug them up and stuffed them into backpacks. The rare Venus flytrap is native to North Carolina, and stealing them, in case you did not know, stealing them is a felony.
I did not know that.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
This is a single-engine aircraft that had several persons on board. It appears that everyone on board perished.
A terrifying crash on the highway claiming the lives of 5 people. Investigators are working around the clock to learn what happened overnight.
If the oversight board says that this is a somewhat narrow way to consider statistics, do you think that this data is fair?
Well, there are some folks who are painting a bleak picture of Metro Police. Why the department says a new use of force report is leaving out the big picture.
Scattered rain showers here this morning, and they will continue on and off throughout the day. The most likely hours to get out and find the dry times coming up in your forecast.
We have a lot to get to, but let's start by thanking you for waking up with us here on a Tuesday morning, Super Tuesday for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We are your live local news source through 9 a.m. And yes, the polls are open this morning for you to go vote for your candidate in the presidential primary, plus a lot of other local elections going on today.
We are going to get started, though, with our breaking news information on the small plane crash over in West Nashville. We know it happened along I-40 right near the Charlotte Pike exit.
Yeah, looking at some of the video coming into us from our Fox 17 News viewers from overnight. This all happened right before 8 p.m. 5 people on that plane died. And Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar has been out there this morning live on the scene working to gather more information. She joins us now with an update.
That's right. We've been out here since 4 in the morning working to get answers. What we know so far, as you mentioned, is unfortunately 5 people have died from that deadly plane crash that happened right here behind me, past this crime tape, past that cop car alongside I-40 East. And we know also that FAA has been on scene investigating, and the NTSB is expected to come later. Officials say the crash happened a little before 8, so 7:40 p.m. That unfortunately ended up killing those 5 people on board. We don't know of any other injuries that happened besides those 5 people. Take a look at your screen. This is the video someone took while driving down Interstate 40. A small plane engulfed in flames with pieces scattered on the ground. Officials say they are working with federal agencies to figure out where the plane came from and more about what happened. What we do know is that the pilot reported engine and power failure last night. Then a TDOT camera shows the shocking and frightening moment of the crash. You can see that with a white...
According to witnesses, the plane was coming over the I-40 area from the north and then crossed over the lanes of the interstate and then crashed there just behind the Costco on a grassy median.
Well, we can't get past this crime tape, as I mentioned, so we're unable to ask officials here on scene some questions as in terms of who the people were that died, their ages, what happened. But we have reached out to the FAA, we've reached out to the NSB, we've also reached out to Metro Police and the fire department to get more answers. All we know at this moment is that the FAA and the NTSB is investigating, and when we get those answers, we will bring them to you. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thanks for that update. We also want to bring you new information as Metro Police are now searching for whoever they think is responsible in yesterday's deadly shooting at a Bordeaux apartment complex.
We first brought you this story as breaking news Monday morning. Metro Police letting us know that Samuel Edwards Jr. was shot at the Overlook Ridge Apartments. It's over on Buena Vista Pike. Now, he was taken to the hospital where he later died.
Officers say the suspect followed Edwards into the apartments, but they say right now they don't know why. So they're still working to piece together this story and the case to bring about justice. If you have any information, you can call Crime Stoppers.
And you don't have to be at home watching on your TV screen to stay in the know. Do me a favor, grab your phone, you probably already have it, and get the very latest news right at your fingertips. Always be in the know by downloading the free Fox 17 News app. You can get it right now by scanning the QR code on your screen with your phone.
7:04 our time, taking a look, and we do have some rain out on the radar. Let's see what's there, where it's at, and where it is headed for us this morning. As always, light green and darker greens, lighter rainfall. Yellows and oranges, some decent pockets of some rain that are coming down right now. Nashville area has broken up a little bit over the course of the last 15-20 minutes, but still a few light sprinkles surrounding the downtown area. If you go a little more toward the east, most of our rain has picked up just a little bit for you here. Mount Juliet, a couple little sprinkles, but you're going to get a little nice shower here. It's not going to be anything heavy, but the rain is going to scoot in here in the next 10 to 15 minutes, and it's going to really go from a good chunk of the I-40 corridor. It's all light east of Nashville, but it will definitely be giving us a little bit of wet pavement to kick off the beginning of your day. The more moderate rainfall, ooh, a little bit of lightning. These are trying to show off a little bit here. They're not going to give us any severe weather, but there could be a clap or two of some lightning. This is really filled in nicely in the last 25 minutes. So Smithville, Gordonsville, out toward Cherry Hill soon, and then eventually out toward Gainsboro and Cookeville in the next half hour. Not going to worry about severe weather, but definitely could see a shower or two we have to give a little credence to when it comes to getting out the door. Incoming rainfall, a dent in the drought, might help a little bit. We'll talk about how much rain we're going to see and how long the great temperatures last coming up in the next check of the forecast.
All right, everyone, steer clear traffic for you this morning. Now, I want to draw your attention over to the west side of town. This is going to be I-40 at American Road. We've been watching the same camera here since we've come on the air at 4 o'clock this morning. This is where we had that deadly plane crash that took place around 7:40 last night. What's different about it is the Tennessee Department of Transportation, who controls these cameras, we do not, have decided now to shift the camera away from the wreckage. Unsure exactly why they've done that, but there's no question in my mind this was a conscious decision for them to do so, and they've shifted the camera away from the wreckage. It could be that investigators are back out on the scene and there's something they don't want us to see at this particular moment with that wreckage. This is causing a backup, though. Whatever is happening out there is causing a bit of a backup there. As you can see, coming in from Kingston Springs, 48 minutes. This is where the crash is, all the way back. There is traffic for several miles. You want to take Highway 70 right there as the best way to steer clear. Say lawmakers have passed a bill that would punish 15-year-olds who steal guns or are involved in organized retail thefts and would charge them as adults. We're going to tell you why some say this will put some teeth into the punishments.
I think they need to, instead of being keyboard warriors, they need to put feet on the ground and start looking for my son. If they really want to help, that's what they should be doing.
That is Seth Rogers, and Fox 17 News with an exclusive interview with the father of that missing 15-year-old from Sumner County, Sebastian Rogers, and he is not mincing words. We've also learned this morning the sheriff's office is shifting their primary focus to the investigation phase.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Tennessee Home Buyers.
7:10 is the time, and new this morning, Tennessee lawmakers passed a bill that would allow 15-year-olds who steal guns or are involved in organized retail thefts to be charged as adults. Now, adult sentences for crime are much higher than they are for juveniles. Lawmakers believe this is needed to hopefully put some teeth into punishment and to make teens think twice before stealing guns, which has been a huge problem here in Nashville, or about organizing to steal from businesses like we've seen at places like Green Hills Mall.
We have so many gun-free zones that good law-abiding citizens have to leave their firearms in their vehicle in order to go into a location that has these restrictions, unfortunately. And I appreciate this because this is going to be definitely a deterrent to the theft of those firearms, especially, and hopefully put an end to some of the juvenile crime that we're seeing now that they will have to pay a price for this.
This idea that one of my colleagues mentioned that they'll know we're a law and order state is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We need to be a state that prioritizes the people who need our help the most.
Well, in order for this to become law, the Senate and the governor still needs to sign on.
7:11 our time right now, taking a look at the forecast. And let's just talk about the positive things, and then we'll talk about what we have to work through here this morning. Positivity, well, we're going to be in the 70s again this afternoon, and we're only 14 days away from spring. Morning temperatures, look at the right side of your screen. Those are not misprints. The average high temperature on this day is right around 60, and we're already warmer than that. Now, we are cloudy, and we are working through a couple of showers that will continue for us here for the morning, afternoon, and evening. Not raining the entire day. You're going to get these little waves that pop up and then die down. Having the umbrella is a good idea. 62 degrees, not going to see a whole lot of sunshine today. It really is a shower impact this morning. We've had a couple rumbles of thunder, don't get me wrong. If you hear one or two, it's possible. It's not going to be anything long-lived, and those die down really quickly. But waking up in the 50s and 60s, a few showers, we're grabbing the umbrella. Right now, rain not really a big influence on your out-the-door forecast. I'm not too worried about that slowing you down all that much, but taking a look at going forward, rain will continue to pick up. There are some showers out there right now. Here's where we're going to go for the afternoon. Yeah, you get a little heating, you get a little bit of sun trying to do its work. 1 p.m. taking us into the afternoon. You get these orange and yellow pockets that settle in, almost a broken line of what could be some weak thunderstorms. Southern Kentucky all the way through Middle Tennessee. Here is 5, 6, and 7 o'clock. Plan for the rain if you have evening sports later on today. Wet bleachers, they're going to be a thing. I don't expect a lot of lightning, but also don't see a lot of cancellations just due to the weather nature of this system moving in.
Well, coming up next on Fox 17 News this morning, we continue to follow the slow go from the west side of town because of that overnight plane crash. No lanes are blocked, but something else is slowing drivers up. I'll explain.
You see the vote here?
The best coverage of the biggest stories across Middle Tennessee. From breaking news to code red weather alerts, we cover it all on Fox 17 News at 5:30.
Hey, welcome back. Right now, Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, talking about the biggest day of the primary season, but also showing you a live look of the Nashville skyline. It's gloomy out there for Super Tuesday.
It is. Now, no downpours or anything like that, but schools may be closed this morning.
Yeah. So we're talking more about that and Super Tuesday and how it's a big day for U.S. politics. Happening today, voters here in Tennessee and across the country heading to the polls. So Super Tuesday lumps together 15 contests for Republicans and then 16 contests for Democrats across the country.
Fox 17 News reporter Peyton Hughes joining us live this morning with what you'll want to know as you head out today. Good morning.
Good morning, Jen and Erica. So for Republican voters, you'll get to vote for delegates who will go to the Republican National Convention to confirm the nominee. Democrats, they vote for their delegates a little bit differently. So who's on the ballot locally?
Depending on where you live, there's county primaries and there's some smaller city elections. Davidson County School Board Districts 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 have open seats. For District 1, one Republican, Demetrius Savage Short, is up against 3 Democrats, Dominique McCord-Cotton, Robert Taylor, and LaTanya Winfrey. Switching gears over in Williamson County, 3 Republicans battling it out for the sheriff's spot, Darren Barnes, Mark Elrod, and Jeff Hughes. None for the Democrats. Tennessee's Secretary of State Trey Hargett says come prepared.
The ballot can look long, but it's really not that long if you'll be a prepared voter. Now you can go to govotetn.gov and you can actually look at the sample ballot.
And actually, inside of the polling locations, some of them have a sample ballot hanging up on the wall that you can take a look at before you go inside to vote. Now, one thing to remember, bring a government-issued ID or a state ID or driver's license before you come in here, because they're not going to let you vote unless you have that. Reporting live in Nashville, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Peyton, thank you so much. 7:18 right now. Just a quick reminder, if you need a little extra help figuring out how to navigate all of this, Peyton did a great job of breaking it down for us, but we do have some of the polling location maps for you and other great information linked right now at fox17.com.
We're going to check in now. 7:18 is the time. Want to see what our Code Red forecast has in store for us this Tuesday.
Just some rain here and there. And Jen, I know, you've been talking about evening sports for kids. Now, I'm going to say this right now. Parents, wet bleachers. Maybe a rumble of thunder, but you know what that means. If the rain's not too heavy and there's no lightning.
We're playing.
We're probably sitting out there.
It's going to be wet.
In the 60s.
Take a towel.
Take a towel, wipe it down, and have the poncho ready. That's what I anticipate for this evening. Just giving you the heads up right now. Just the messenger. I don't create it. I just want to make sure you know what you're getting into. Taking a look here, Doppler radar. A lot of things moved out of the Nashville area, more toward our eastern counties. And I kind of anticipated this yesterday morning, that most of our action for the first half of the day would be east of I-65. And now we're seeing that bubble up just a touch. If you are in the Monterey area, 21 minutes. You've had a nice dry morning. You're in the 60s. Get ready for it. You have some rain moving in. A big band of it, but your first showers move in about 20 minutes from right now in Cookeville. Light sprinkles coming down as we speak, but the bulk of this is going to move into your area in about 10 to 15 minutes. Maybe we're letting the dog out. We're trying to, schools that are in session, get the kids out the door. Keep that in mind. Rain gear, a good idea for everyone today. And then Manchester down toward Winchester, all the Chesters. We're seeing things here in the next 15, 20 minutes. Rain will pick up for you as well. Most of these areas, y'all have not seen rain yet. Off to the west, we've already seen the showers that have been coming down here the last couple of hours. Good news is, though, we're not worried about a lot of thunder and lightning. Rain chances every day, though. Not code red weather, though, each day. I see no severe weather indicators for any of the days in your 7-day forecast. There are percentage chances for some showers and weak thunderstorms. Timing is everything. Today afternoon toward the evening, that rain is going to continue. I'll look at future track. We'll pinpoint the most likely areas for it, but this is one of those days, I'll be honest, where I can't guarantee you a specific hour of the afternoon or evening that will be rainy or dry. It's going to be very hit and miss, so prepare for it throughout the day.
Still clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get to I-40 and American Road. This is over in West Nashville. This is the site of that overnight plane crash. Even though you cannot see it, they've adjusted the camera so that it's just off of the screen right over here. But what you can see is the backup. So people are slowing down right here to look at the plane crash. There is no lane stoppages at all. These are folks just slowing down to take a look. That's all this is. And it's causing a backup back behind it. This is I-40 at Charlotte here, about a mile away from where that is taking place. Again, traffic almost at a standstill here, and this is all because of rubbernecking, because people are slowing down to look at the plane crash. That's all. So keep that in mind and just know that the drive time coming in from Kingston Springs is going to be around 48 minutes. Look at the long line of traffic. All of this is because of that plane crash up ahead. You want to take Highway 70 right here. That's going to be your best bet to steer clear.
In politics this Tuesday morning, a bill that would make rules adopted by state legislature immune from a judicial review that is moving forward, but not without heated debate.
All right, this all started back in the fall when people holding signs were removed from the legislative meeting rooms. A court issued a stay, but the case got dropped when the special session ended.
Now lawmakers are trying to pass a law saying what they say goes in terms of rules governing their sessions. Listen now.
What I've realized in the past couple months is that the First Amendment is something we have to constantly fight for, and that's why I'm here today, to fight for freedom of speech.
No, it's not a question of what I want. It's a question of what the Constitution says. And our Constitution vests the authority to make rules in the House and the Senate. It gives them that authority exclusively.
Now, bill sponsor Gino Bolso says the sign argument was not settled last fall, that really it had just started. The bill would take it out of the hands of state judges and force any challenge to go directly to a federal court.
A lawsuit has been filed on behalf of a Meigs County woman who died in the back of a deputy's vehicle after he drove into the Tennessee River. We have new information in a couple of minutes.
It is almost time to spring ahead. 1 hour for daylight saving time. We're going to talk with Greg Bomas about when you can
with digital coupons and earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. You can always discover more ways to save big every day. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
$7:25 is the time here on this Tuesday morning. We do have an update to a story that we first brought you as breaking news a couple of weeks ago. It was a story about a missing Meigs County deputy. Now, the Meigs County Sheriff's Office eventually found the deputy, Robert J. Leonard, in the Tennessee River, along with his patrol car and the body of a woman that he had taken into custody. Well, now a lawsuit has been filed on behalf of Tamitha Smith against the Meigs County government and the deputy. The lawsuit alleges that the deputy was not properly trained by the county to know his assigned area of patrol and to know the nature of the incident location. So, if you want to read more about this story and the full lawsuit, you can go to our website, fox17.com.
It's 7:26. We're looking ahead right now to this Sunday, 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, that might be our scheduled time, but it's probably not yours. So you need to know that you want to set your clocks ahead. Saturday night going into Sunday, getting closer to spring, and then, of course, summer, different sunset times, different sunrise times.
Not knowing where you're going on Monday morning because it's dark when you wake up and you get home and it's light outside.
You're not late for church on Sunday.
Don't be late for church on Sunday. At least a lot of our devices end up, switching themselves.
They do.
But I always had that clock that's like an hour off for like 6 months.
Well, and I always worry my phone's not going to do the auto update.
Because then how do you know?
We're here to help you.
Make sure you know. We're here to help you. We're telling you right now. Maybe keep one manual clock that you don't change so you can compare the two.
Okay.
There you go. And you wake up and go, oh, this is the time now. Here we go. Here's how it shifts. Sunset on Saturday, 5:49. Still seems pretty early, kind of wintry. You go into Sunday, sunset 6:50. We're close to 7 p.m. Now, you will have that later sunrise. So kids going to the bus stops on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. If you're not on spring break, you'll have to worry about knowing that it might not be as light outside as it typically is. So just watch for people outside. But as far as the weekend goes leading us into it, warm and rainy on Saturday. 60 degrees. I say warm in quotes, not as warm as today, but the warmer of the 2 days. Cool and drier on Sunday, 56 degrees, a little below average actually. Nighttime temperatures flirting with the 30s as you wake up on Sunday morning. Fairly comfortable though. It could be much worse this time of the year. And taking a look going ahead, how can you keep track of the rain? Get the Fox 17 Code Red weather app. 73 later on this afternoon. We'll piece together these 2 rain chances on Tuesday, which is today, and Friday, coming up in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic. We have picked up something new on I-40 near Dulles and Pike. This is on the east side. As you can see, T-Dot on the scene right now with a vehicle that is disabled square in the middle of the interstate. That is no bueno. That's no good. So the best way to steer clear is going to be using Lebanon Pike or perhaps Elm Hill Pike to get around that. Ambulance now arriving on the scene along with a fire truck. We'll get back to this scene as soon as we can. Steer clear traffic live through 9.
Officials are investigating the deadly
Or get 0% interest for 5 years with 0 down. Shop the Orange event at your local Ashley.
The Big Bang Theory.
Weeknights at 6 and 6:30 on Fox 17.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Imagine you send your child to daycare and they never come home. That is a gut-wrenching reality for one family right here in the mid-state. The woman you saw there crying is the caregiver accused of running an illegal daycare where a 3-month-old baby died. Fox 17 News with new information this half hour.
And taking a look here, skyline not perfect. Couple of showers in the Nashville area. More steady rainfall off toward the east, and we're just getting started. Grab the umbrella and strap down for a few more minutes. I'll let you know what you can expect going into the afternoon and evening when it comes to rain chances.
Steer clear traffic takes us to I-40 at Donaldson Pike. We've got 2 lanes open, 3 lanes shut down because of a crash that's happened square in the middle of the road. I'll get you back to this scene, tell you how to steer clear.
A lot going on over there. Hey, thank you so much for waking up with us here on a Tuesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We have several breaking news stories we'll get you updated on this half hour, including the continued search for the missing 15-year-old in Sumner County, Sebastian Rogers. We have an exclusive interview with his biological father. That's coming up in about 15 minutes. We also want to bring you up to speed on the breaking news out of West Nashville this morning, where Metro Police confirmed 5 people all died when their small plane crashed right along I-40 overnight.
Right behind us is some of the wreckage of that plane left behind, and this all happening just a couple of feet away from a busy interstate. So imagine driving by that yesterday evening. Right now, though, Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us live from West Nashville. And Karen, you've been following the latest on this ongoing investigation. What can you tell us as of right now?
Well, as of right now, we don't know much, but what we do know is that Metro Police say that that plane crash took the lives of 5 people, and it happened near Costco behind me on I-40 East. You can still see that there is crime tape here, so we can't get any closer. We also know that FAA has been on scene all night trying to investigate what happened. That the NTSB is expected to come out here later to figure out what happened. Now take a look at your screen. This TDOT camera captures what happened moments before. You can see the flash. We know from officials that the pilot reported engine and power failure at 20 to 8 last night before crashing suddenly and bursting into flames. Then cell phone video was captured by a driver on I-40 showing the wreckage, a massive fire engulfing a small plane, small pieces of it on the ground, on the grass behind a road. Another man we spoke with, a witness, Stephen Jones, also took cell phone video of what happened, and he describes how shocking it was. He gives us his reaction. Take a listen.
That, you know, I witnessed it, and it was an experience. It really was. It was just like, at first I was scared, but then I was like, I need to go help those people.
Well, we've reached out to the FAA. We've also reached out to the NTSB along with Metro Police and the fire department to get more details on what could have caused this crash, along with where the plane was coming from. Some people are also wondering the ages of the people on board that small plane. Now, we don't have those answers at this moment, but we are working to get those to you. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
7:34 our time, and some rain making its way through Middle Tennessee. Not quite into southern Kentucky yet for just about all of us, but taking a look, it's given an easterly shift here. We started off about 4 hours ago with rain in the Lawrenceburg area out toward Columbia. You're still seeing rain. You've been getting it here on and off here for the last 4 hours, but now some areas that have not seen any rain yet this morning are working into it. One good thing that we're seeing, Nashville drying out a little bit. Still a few sprinkles here and there, but there were a couple decent downpours about 45 minutes ago. That has lightened up for now. So everywhere going into and out of town, we're not seeing any decent rainfall within at least a good 10-mile clip in each direction. Taking a look out toward the east, though, yeah, Mount Juliet going a little bit more toward the east, rain beginning to pick up over portions of I-40 east of town, and then really our main band of rain, Gainsboro down through Cherry Hill, Smithville. Pretty good rain. A couple of claps of thunder have been here on and off. 1 or 2 lightning strikes about every 15 minutes, so it's nothing terrible, but definitely some steady rainfall. Keep that in mind if you're in the Cookeville area. You're working into it as we speak, and same with the Monterey area. Incoming rain, that's the big story. It's coming in now, and it's going to continue with us the afternoon and this evening. Between now and the end of the week, we'll see 1 to 4 inches of rainfall. Could that put a dent in our drought? We really need the rainfall. We'll see by the end of the week. Great temperatures in the 70s later this afternoon. Right now, right side of your screen, we're in the 60s.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get to it. This is going to be I-40 at Donaldson Pike over on the east side of town, very close to the airport. And that is where traffic is crawling this morning because of a crash that is taking up these 2 lanes and the on-ramp here from Donaldson Pike. So if you're coming from the airport, if you're getting on the interstate going to Nashville from the airport, this is part of your drive there in the Donaldson area. And the backup is going to be rather large here as Hopefully they're trying to move the car involved from one side of the interstate over to the other. The ambulance is there as well. Let me show you what it's doing to the traffic back behind it. 52 minutes is what we're talking about out of Mount Juliet into downtown. And a big part of that is to slow down here as soon as you cross the Percy Priest Dam and head towards BNA. That's where the backup is. You want to try to use Lebanon Pike to the north. That will help you a little bit. So will places like Elm Hill Pike perhaps, or even Central Pike will help you get around some of this. We're going to continue to watch it, but it's a slow go for sure coming in from Hermitage and Mount Juliet.
She came out from the hallway with her child and said, "He's not breathing."
In Operation Crime and Justice, the woman you see right there with the blonde hair pulled back is the woman who's accused of running an illegal daycare where a 3-month-old died last year. And she now faces new felony charges.
Ann Jordan is accused of running the daycare out of her apartment, watching 6 other young children when that baby died. Now listen as one of the parents shares his experience on the day this happened.
I saw the crying baby in the high chair. There was another baby in a bouncy seat in the living room. There were 2 other babies under 1 year lying under an activity gym, awake in the living room.
Now, Ryan says that he found his 20-month-old daughter with another little girl sleeping in a different room, and Jordan nowhere to be found. Police would later find her at a state park. Police say she had seriously hurt herself. Jordan now faces aggravated child abuse, endangerment, and operating a daycare without a license.
7:38 is the time, topping the nation in potholes. TDOT says they're working to fix one of our...
On the house, Oak Grove Racing, Gaming, and Hotel. All kinds of awesome.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
7:41 is the time, and we do have a breaking news update. Want to let you know former President Donald Trump's lawyers are asking a judge to reject a gag order in his hush money criminal case. Lawyers arguing the order would hinder Trump's ability to counter public attacks regarding the case. The hush money case is scheduled to be the first of 4 criminal indictments against Trump to go to trial. This news just come just one day after the Supreme Court ruled that Trump should appear on Colorado's presidential primary ballot, a massive victory for the Republican frontrunner.
Erica, thank you. 7:41 right now. The Tennessee Department of Transportation and all their crews are working to try to repair potholes along some of our major interstates and state roads.
Yeah, TDOT says they have now laid more than double the amount of mix this January and February compared to the same time last year. They're asking drivers to be prepared for some short-term traffic delays during these types of operations.
By the way, if you need to report a pothole, you can call the TDOT hotline. It's 833-TDOT-FIX. You can also submit it online through the TDOT website. Just a heads up too, Justin, every time you go to I-65 at Trinity Lane, I feel like I want to shout to people, be careful, because that's a real problem spot
big
right
one
now.
over there?
Well, it's not a pothole, it's where huge stretches of the pavement have just broken up.
Come apart there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even a pothole, it's just like it's been eaten away.
Something different.
Yeah, be careful.
All right, let's get to Greg very quickly. Look at your forecast here.
Yeah, this morning here, if you're an indoor or outdoor exerciser, lace them up to go to the gym, or if you're heading outside, plan for rain. I would make it an indoor day. Temperatures are in the 60s. I'm tracking more rain in about 5 minutes in your forecast.
Steer clear traffic. We're going to take you over to Donaldson. That's where we continue to battle a crash that is slowing things down coming in from Hermitage. Looks like they're picking up the cones, though. We're going to tell you the best way to steer clear.
At this time, the decision's been made to scale back on the ground search operations.
And we promised you an update from Sumner County. We'll bring it to you in about 2 minutes.
If you've been injured, ask around. I'll bet someone you trust will tell you, get Hughes and Coleman and get it done. Call 800-800-4600.
Happening right now, there is a search continuing for a 7-year-old girl reported missing from Rutherford County. Take a look at your screen. The TBI says Iris Crum was last seen March 1st in Murfreesboro near Blue Fox Trail.
We understand they're also still looking for Iris's mother, 30-year-old Kalia Sureda, who is wanted by the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office. This is a custody battle. She's wanted for custodial interference. So if you know where Iris is or her mother, please call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Again, this is an endangered child alert. It has not been elevated to an Amber Alert at this point. If that changes, we'll be the first to let you know.
And now to more breaking news updates, because it's been just over 1 week since 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers vanished from his Hendersonville home with no trace.
His parents say the teenager with autism walked off from their house in the middle of the night. Now the Sumner County Sheriff's Office is scaling back their search efforts, saying they're focusing more on the investigation.
So what does this mean exactly? Fox 17 News' Kelly Avellino joining us with the very latest. And Kelly, Sebastian's parents also speaking out for the first time over the last 2 days.
That's right, and we did speak exclusively to Sebastian's biological father, who was absolutely distraught. Now, it's been 8 days since Sebastian was reported missing by his mother, Katie Proudfoot, who says he was not in his bed when she went to wake him. And since there's been no sign of Sebastian on any surveillance or ring cameras by any witnesses or bypassers, and no tracking dogs either. The search to find him has been monumental, with hundreds of trained crews from around the state using pretty much all methods possible, from helicopters to ground teams on foot, horseback, ATV, dive teams, drones, infrared cameras, and more. But yesterday, the Sumner County Sheriff's Office said they will be again scaling back operations some and now focusing on the investigation itself. This opens up more potential speculation that something may have happened to Sebastian aside from him wandering off. Now his mother and stepfather speaking to the media, saying Sebastian went to bed that night at 9 p.m. on Sunday. The stepdad, Christopher Proudfoot, saying he was out of town that night and spoke to the mother for a couple hours on the phone that evening. Later in the evening, Katie says Sebastian was not in his bed the next morning at 6 a.m. She believes that Sebastian left the house without his shoes or a cell phone, but did take a flashlight. Fox 17 News speaking exclusively to Sebastian's biological father, Seth Rogers, who last saw him a couple weekends before he went missing. Seth lives in Clarksville and works as a Davidson County Sheriff's deputy. But he's been in Sumner County every single day, helping in the search for his son.
What has the last week been like for you as a father?
My heart is missing somewhere out here, and I'm just trying to find him.
Seth saying he's eternally grateful for the immense support and effort that law enforcement has put into finding Sebastian. He says Sebastian likes creeks, fishing, playing video games, animals and plants. His mother says his favorite color is green. His favorite song, Eye of the Tiger, which search crews were playing out loudly in the woods as they searched for him. Jen and Erica.
All right, Kelly, thank you very much. And as Kelly mentioned, the Shackle Island community has now spent more than a week canvassing miles trying to find Sebastian. The missing 15-year-old does have autism, and that fact alone hit close to home for Kendall Schwint. She lives in Sebastian's neighborhood, and I had a chance to talk with her just yesterday.
I've been searching in the woods, in the dumpsters, in the creeks, the pipelines, the bridges, and the woods, and I just worry about Sebastian so much.
Kendall does have autism, and as I mentioned, she's been out there looking with her family members along with the National Guard. And I was out there yesterday and saw crews from Lebanon who were doing searches out in the wooded areas. We will continue to bring you any developments from Shackle Island, where we know the search crews have scaled down, as we mentioned, the search, but ramped up their investigation.
7:50, looking at your forecast here. Future track moving us into the afternoon. A few showers out there right now, and we're not done. Let's plan it out for you. Here's 1 p.m. We're starting in the 60s. We'll be in the 70s this afternoon, lower 70s, but still very warm. And that warmth and the chance of a little bit of sunshine here for us will give us a few pop-up showers and a few more weak thunderstorms. A little band of storms likely to develop here late afternoon. This is 4 p.m. and track toward the east throughout the evening hours. Once the sun goes down, it becomes just regular light rainfall overnight. That'll be in pockets, and it's out of here by 9 a.m. What I want you to do is have the umbrella on you when you're heading out the door here. If you have evening plans, evening sports, know that it's going to already be covered with some water in many areas when it comes to bleachers and the fields themselves. There could be some muddy uniforms tomorrow morning. Just keep that in mind as well. 73 degrees this afternoon, right near 70, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Once that rain wraps up early tomorrow morning, we'll be pretty good to go until we get toward the second half of your Friday into Saturday. And whatever digital clock do you actually have to manually change? Microwave? I almost said VCR. I almost said VCR. Wow, okay, dating myself there. That is the night, Saturday into Sunday morning.
Greg with the weather report from 1991. Thank you, Greg. Let's take a look at your steer clear traffic out here from 2024. As you can see, we've got the latest out there with your traffic as we've moved the accident that was once here all the way over to the shoulder of the road here. It has now opened up multiple lanes. This is certainly much better news for those of you coming in from Mount Juliet and from Hermitage. It's still a bit of a slowdown here, and let me show you about it. Still, they're saying 65 minutes, over an hour from Mount Juliet into downtown. The good news is this time will start to go down now that they have moved that crash over to the shoulder of the road. Good news there. We continue to follow the scene coming in from the west side of town. This is going to be I-40 out near Charlotte, American Road. They're dealing with that plane crash out there that happened overnight. People slowing down to look at it as they drive by, and that's causing its own drag. 48 minutes right now from Kingston Springs into downtown. You can take Highway 70 right here as the best way to steer clear.
We have a lot of work to do when it comes to the history of policing and with black and brown communities. I think we can do and create so much work if we come to the table.
Right now, making headlines this Tuesday morning, Nashville's Police Community Review Board just releasing their findings about the use of force by Metro Police. Now, that report looks at everything from holds to weapons used to police dogs between 2018 to 2022. The CRB says data shows people of color accounted for 60% of use of force incidents in 2022 compared to 28% of white people. But there are critics in law enforcement that do say this report does not paint the full picture. The Oversight Board also put out a list of recommendations for MMPD. We have all of that on our website. Go to fox17.com.
Super Tuesday is here, and we've got some sample ballots right here behind us. We're going to tell you everything you need to know before heading out to the polls today.
Peyton, thank you. And don't let the rain showers keep you from voting. Just take the umbrella or a little poncho and you'll be good to go. Also,
in every district. Our Crisis in the Classroom series digs deeper into issues that are crippling our schools. Watch Crisis in the Classroom only on Fox 17 News.
7:56, taking a look at your forecast, and we are talking about some rain later today. Our dog Barkley enjoys the snow from what I'm told by April. You can clearly see in the picture that Barkley enjoys the snow. I don't know how Barkley feels about wet paws though, so we'll need to touch base on that one. April, thank you for sending in your photo. Just know that this morning, afternoon, and evening, scattered showers and weak thunderstorms on and off throughout the day across the entire viewing area. I can't give you an exact hour where we're guaranteed to not have rain in your neighborhood on the radar. It is that very hit and miss kind of a scenario that we have to work through. A lot of the times it's very well organized. This time that is not the case. Taking a look, 60s all the way throughout this morning into early afternoon. We'll hit right around 70 degrees for about an hour or so, right around 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And yeah, the rain chances do go up throughout the morning and toward the afternoon. Send us your dog of the day. Meteorologist Greg Bobus on Facebook. Find that pinned post at the top. Send your photo right there. A little story, maybe where you're from, how long you've had your four-legged friend, any of those details. We can share them right here on Fox 17 News this morning. You can also get the Code Red weather app. That'll help you out with all this rain we're going to see, not just today, but every day has a chance for rain. Scan that QR code right now. Go get it. You can click the radar button and track that rain in real time no matter where you're at, not even just here locally. If you go on vacation, it covers you there as well.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get out to I-40 at Donaldson Pike. They are in the clearing stages of that crash from earlier this morning that had several lanes blocked off, making that drive in from the airport, from Hermitage and from Mount Juliet. Thankfully, we're down to just one lane here. That on-ramp cut off a little bit, but the rest of the traffic has now reopened. We are also still dealing with that plane crash out there on I-40. Yes, I said plane crash if you're just waking up. I-40 at American Road. It happened around 7:40 last night. At one point, we could see the wreckage out there, but since then they have turned the camera away. Could they be turning it back here? Let's see what they're doing. If I step out, you can see the plane wreckage right over there on the right-hand side of the screen. And now they're turning it back the other way. Okay, just know it's out there. Things are slow because of it. We'll tell you more details coming up in a few.
Justin, thank you so much. To help celebrate Read Across America Week, our own Jennifer Waddell right here is spending time reading to pre-K students at the Goddard School in Hendersonville.
Man, it was just the best day. These really are the highlights of our days. And I have to say, all the kiddos in the pre-K at the Goddard School in Hendersonville were, in fact, like the book says, on their best behavior. So thanks so much for having me out. Lots of smiles, good times. But you know, here at Fox 17 News, we recognize that so many children don't get to share the same joy of reading. In fact, almost 2/3 of fourth graders in the U.S. struggle to read at grade level. So we're teaming up with Reading is Fundamental and our parent company, Sinclair. It's part of our Sinclair Cares supporting children's literacy program. If you'd like to help us out, you can scan the QR code right now to donate to our virtual book drive.
Well, now that it's award season, your movie knowledge, you can help put it to the test by winning some extra money if you do win by playing our Hollywood Trivia Contest. So grab your phone, scan the QR code right here on your screen for your chance to win a $100 prepaid debit card. If you get the question right, you could win the daily $100 prize. And the daily prize winners also eligible for a chance to win the weekly $5,000 drawing. That would be fantastic. So again, scan the QR code right here on your screen to get the Hollywood Trivia question of the day. Stay with us. Our 8 o'clock hour starting right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
This is a single-engine aircraft that had several persons on board. It appears that everyone on board perished.
A terrifying crash on highway right here, claiming the lives of 5 people. Investigators working around the clock trying to figure out what happened late last night.
If the oversight board says that this is a somewhat narrow way to consider statistics, do you think that this data is fair?
One group in particular is painting a bleak picture of Metro Police and its efforts. We'll tell you why the police department says a new use of force report is leaving out the big picture.
Fairly gloomy, but not too bad outside. Temperatures are in the 60s. We're tracking some rain showers this morning, and we are not done. They pick up throughout the afternoon and evening. We'll look at it on Future Track.
Thank you so much for waking up with us here on a Tuesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're glad to be your live local news source, always here for you through 9 a.m. And we begin with our top story this morning, one of several, and that is the breaking news updates coming in after a plane crashes in West Nashville, right along I-40 near the Charlotte Pike exit.
And we are learning just before 8 p.m. is when all this happened. We're getting some more updates about this scene, right? Showing you some video right behind us here of this happening. Imagine driving by and seeing that fiery crash right beside you.
So to your point, it happened after rush hour, right? It was dark. As the sun has come up this morning, we've been able to get a better view from our TDOT cameras as to that crash site. And we do understand that federal teams will be on the scene today working to piece together what happened.
Right now, we're getting some live updates from the scene. We have our Karen Aguilar joining us out there. Karen, what can you see? Because I know you can't really get too close to the site.
Well, all we can see right now is a crime tape. Earlier, we saw a police car closer to that crime tape, but you can see one off in the distance. What we know at this moment from officials is that that plane crashed on I-40 East alongside of it, and it was a fiery crash that took the lives of 5 people. And I also want to give you some updates to the audio we heard of a pilot calling air control moments before that plane went down. He says that he couldn't land, and it was a very frightening moment. He also says that his engines were having trouble. And as you can imagine, just the devastation of hearing that from air control, not being able to do anything before that plane ultimately landed and took the lives of those 5 people. We also know, just going back to the scene behind me here, that the FAA has been here investigating, and the NTSB, which is working alongside them, along with agencies here in Nashville, are just working to determine what could have happened. We don't know the ages of the victims at this moment or who they are, but we are working to identify them. Now, there is cell phone video that was shown to us, and I want you to take a look at what that is, because it is a frightening moment. The plane was engulfed in flames as a driver was just driving down I-40 and took a video of that. There were pieces of that plane on the ground scattered. Officials told reporters during a press conference when we were asking them questions about if they have any idea of where that plane came from, and they said because of the wreckage they weren't really able to identify it. But we also spoke to Stephen Jones. He was a witness of what happened, also taking cell phone video, and he gives us his reaction.
All of a sudden I see some flames, and I'm like, something's burning over there, so I needed to go take a look. And as I went through the trees, I saw this big ball of flame.
Again, the FAA and NTSB is investigating the circumstances surrounding this crash. When we have more information, we will bring it to you. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
8:04 to look at your forecast here this morning. We are waking up to showers across the board in many areas. I'm going to do a couple things for you. I'm going to track what's out here and then take a look at who's winning this morning. What I mean, the places that have not had to deal with wet pavement to kick off the day. Taking a look, not much happening in Nashville, so we're going to go off toward the east. The one thunderstorm that we have right now, not a lot of lightning, but enough to point it out. It's the most we've seen in one of these cells so far this morning. Moving towards Smithville, Watkins, moving away from Alvaton. This is going to continue to move toward the east. Will it continue to produce lightning? Depends how much the atmosphere has to work with here. Kind of like fuel in a gas tank. Once you use it up, you don't have that much to keep going too much longer. We'll keep our eyes on it for you. Also, the Monterey area, this shower tracking away from you, but I'm going to go put a track on the actual line that's moving in toward Cookeville and Monterey. You both have seen some rain. It's going to get a little more steady here in the upcoming 10 to 15 minutes. So just have that in the back of your mind. You're going to have a good half-hour worth of rain before it clears out. Here's who's winning. Everyone west of I-65 and north of I-40 has seen little to no rainfall so far this morning, and that's going to trend to be the case for right now. But if you live in that area, maybe you're thinking Clarksville, Hopkinsville, you want to stick with me because you may end up losing later on this afternoon as one of the hot spots for some showers and storms later today. 60s right side of your screen, low 70s later on this afternoon. Justin.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. A couple of scenes to show you. We're going to get started here at I-40. This is going to be near Donaldson Pike over on the east side of town. As you can see, traffic there moving along despite the fact we've got a crash there on the shoulder. This looks a lot better than it did earlier, believe me. Traffic at one point was backed up for several miles because of a crash here that was taking up both lanes. Now it's about to be clear as a tow truck is on scene, about to take away the last car. So good news. Still following slow traffic coming in from the west side of town. This is going to be I-40 at American Road. The wreckage from the plane crash is right over here. People are slowing down to look at it, and it's causing some backups. Here are the latest drive times this morning. Mount Juliet at 44 minutes. Murfreesboro, 63 minutes coming in down I-24. Kingston Springs, 55 minutes. 90% of that is people slowing down to take a look at the plane wreckage here. That's what's causing that slowdown. You want to take Highway 70, Charlotte Pike is the best way to steer clear. And other news this morning, and coming up, state lawmakers have passed a bill that would punish 15-year-olds who steal guns or are involved with retail crimes as adults. We're going to tell you why some say a move like this is very necessary.
I think they need to, instead of being keyboard warriors, they need to put feet on the ground and start looking for my son. If they really want to help, that's what they should be doing.
Fox 17 News with an exclusive interview with the father of Sebastian Rogers, who you just heard from. A strong message there. Sebastian Rogers is a missing 15-year-old from Sumner County. The sheriff's office explaining how they're shifting their primary focus to the investigation.
Now's the time to connect on a higher level. Always Asheville. Alarming firefighter shortage.
Thursday on Fox 17 News at 9.
8:09 is the time, and new this morning, Tennessee lawmakers passed a bill overnight that would allow 15-year-olds who are responsible for stealing guns or who may be involved in organized retail theft to be charged as adults. Now, we know that adult sentences are much higher than they are for juveniles. Lawmakers believe something like this is necessary because they're hoping that it will make teenagers think twice before stealing guns, which has been a huge problem here in Nashville, or about stealing from local businesses en masse, like what we've seen at Green Hills Mall.
This puts consequences in place. And if a young person participates in organized retail theft, it's time for them to learn at an early age that we are a nation of laws, and there are consequences to breaking those laws. And so thank you for bringing this. It is a true stand for law and order. And again, just reiterating the point that in Tennessee, we stand for the law and we stand for the rule of law.
I'm very frustrated by these terrible, pathetic pieces of legislation that are weak excuses for addressing significant problems. If we want to do something about vandalism or organized crime and retail theft, then do something about lifting the minimum wage, creating more access to opportunities for youth, investing in communities that have been overlooked and under-resourced and underfunded. You want to do something about the theft of firearms? Do something about people getting access to firearms in the first place.
Now, robust arguments there on the House floor. In order for this to become law, though, the Senate has to pass it. Then the governor would need to sign off.
8:11, a quick check of your forecast. If you were in the Hopkinsville area, or if you're talking about Clarksville, where I talked about, you're not seeing rain right now, you're winning and you might lose later. Take a look at Future Track. This is a brand new update for you. We're going to see a few more showers continue to bubble up as we're going toward the afternoon. We're beginning the day with most of our rain in our easternmost counties, so east of I-65. But then all the air that is completely untapped. And what I mean by that is, say, all these gas stations have a bunch of fuel ready to go, and we've already cleared them all out off toward the east. Well, the weather's going to go where all the energy is at, and that's what we're going to talk about here for late afternoon toward the evening. No severe weather, but some soaking rain showers are possible here going toward late afternoon and this evening. Overnight, once the sun goes down, everything settles down quite nicely. By tomorrow morning, a lingering shower or two can't be ruled out, but relatively dry. This is the new thing here. The morning trending drier, not dry completely. Still little specks of grayish green, but a few sprinkles and a little mist here and there to start the day. Nothing really well organized when it comes to your upcoming rainfall for tomorrow morning.
Coming up, we're going to give you the latest about this situation west of town, I-40 at American Road. It doesn't look all that bad, but this, believe it or not, is causing traffic to back up for miles. I'll explain why.
It happened.
We've been breathing this.
Lots of people don't realize that mold feeds off moisture in their crawl space. But don't worry, we got this.
At AFS, we'll do a home inspection for free.
Well, it's a big day for U.S. politics. We're talking about Super Tuesday. Voters here in Tennessee and across the country, right, heading to the polls. And we know it's really going to become a big day for our presidential primaries.
Oh, yeah. So the presidential primary, we have local races on the different ballots. Super Tuesday lumping together contests for Republicans and Democrats. And Fox 17 News reporter Peyton Muse joining us live here in Nashville this morning to tell you what you'll need to know before you head to the polls. Good morning.
Good morning, Jen and Erica. So we're inside of one of the polling locations, actually, and for Republican voters, you'll get to vote on delegates who will go to the Republican National Convention to confirm the nominee. Democrats, they choose their delegates a little bit differently. So who's on the ballot locally? Well, we're going to break that down. Depending on where you live, there's county primaries and there's some smaller city elections. Davidson County School Board Districts 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 have open seats. For District 1, one Republican, Demetrius Savage Short, is up against 3 Democrats, Dominique McCord-Cotton, Robert Taylor, and LaTanya Winfrey. Switching gears over in Williamson County, 3 Republicans battling it out for the sheriff's spot, Darren Barnes, Mark Elrod, and Jeff Hughes. None for the Democrats. Tennessee's Secretary of State, Trey Hargett, says come prepared.
The ballot can look long, but it's really not that long if you'll be a prepared voter. Now, you can go to govote10.gov and you can actually look at the sample ballot.
And just like I said earlier, there's sample ballots here. Some of the polling locations that you may go to should have them posted up on the wall. And also, if you do decide to go ahead and vote today, remember to bring a federal issued ID or a government issued ID, your state ID, your driver's license, anything like that, or else they're not going to let you vote today. Reporting live inside one of the polling locations in North Nashville, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Good information there, Peyton. Thank you so much. And to find your polling place in Davidson County, we're mapping it out for you. Okay, so head to maps.nashville.gov/polling place finder. We're showing it on the screen right here at fox17.com to really get you to that link. Okay, you can find all of this by going to our website, and we have all the updates on the locations, what you need, just good reminders to keep in your back pocket.
Maybe a little sloshy out there in the parking lot as you're going to vote today, or whatever you've got going on outside. Necessary accessories would be the poncho, the umbrella, and maybe some rain boots.
And some patience.
100%. That too. 100% to all three of those. Well, and then the fourth, the patience. That should always be just one of those things. It is a virtue, folks.
One more thing.
One more thing?
Sunshine in the pocket.
Sunshine in the pocket. Okay. I hear you.
Take it with you today.
I see where you're going.
Make your own sunshine.
You have to. This is one of those days. I'm not making it for you. You got to create it. Create that own smile for yourself. Taking a look here at what's going on in Doppler radar. Depending upon where you're at, you're either in a great position, most of southern Kentucky, northwestern, middle Tennessee, not much happening here. Temperatures are in the 60s. Yeah, you're a little cloudy, but you're doing good. We get to a few other areas now. Nashville, basically south of downtown, but we start getting real close to downtown. I mean, we're just talking about a couple blocks away. You get toward Vanderbilt, and then you go all the way down 65. I'd say 65 from Nashville down toward and past the Brentwood area. We're seeing some decent rainfall. It's nothing to write home about, but definitely rain coming down. And then 24 about Laverne up toward the Nashville area, seeing some rain as well. And then I-40 going from east to west, so inbound from, I would say around maybe the Hermitage area, if you're hopping on near Mount Juliet as well. The main event, though, and it's not a main event in terms of big deal, no severe weather, but we have some thunder and lightning for the first time in quite some time this morning. If you get out toward well east of the Nashville area, we're pushing toward areas like Smithville where the rain has really picked up quite a bit. And this is moving a little bit slower. This has slowed down in the last 15 minutes, so we're going to get a good soaking rain for a little bit. By the end of the week, 1 to 4 inches of rain are possible across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. If you get stuck in a spot like right now, say Smithville, where the rain is just coming down and not letting up, rainfall totals a little bit higher. That's kind of the game for us here. We'll look at future track, and we'll also look ahead to your weekend. It will be cooler coming up in about 5 minutes.
Steer clear traffic this morning takes us over to West Nashville. This is going to be I-40 at American Road. You may be able to see on your screen, and it's small, so let me step over here and can point it out for you. Investigators there they are right over there. They are doing the best they can to investigate that crash. The plane crash is just off camera there. This happened at 7:40 last night, but investigators starting to gather in that field right up there. And this is the largest piece of activity that we've seen there, that plane crash site, all morning long. Again, investigators right over there, right off camera, conducting their investigation as this plane crash happened around 7:40 last night. Unfortunately, 5 people died. So what does this have to do with your traffic? Well, people are slowing down to look at this, and when they do, it is causing a big backup back behind it. 48 minutes is what we're talking about now from Kingston Springs into downtown, and that plane crash investigation is a big part of it, even though no lanes were blocked. This is about 3 miles from that plane crash site. You can see traffic at a crawl, and a big part of that is people just slowing down to look.
Justin, thank you. Political headlines here on this Tuesday morning. A bill that would make rules adopted by our state legislature immune from judicial review is now moving forward, but not without heated debate.
Yeah, it started in the fall when people holding signs right here in this video were removed from legislative meeting rooms. Well, a court issued a stay, but the case was dropped when the special session ended. Now lawmakers are trying to pass a law saying what they say goes in terms when it comes to rules governing their sessions.
What I've realized in the past couple months is that the First Amendment is something we have to constantly fight for, and that's why I'm here today, to fight for freedom of speech.
It's not a question of what I want. It's a question of what the Constitution says. And our Constitution vests the authority to make rules in the House and the Senate. It gives them that authority exclusively.
The bill's sponsor, who you just heard from there, Gino Balso, says the sign argument was not settled last fall. It really had just started. This bill would take it out of the hands of state judges and would force any challenge to go directly to federal court.
A lawsuit has been filed on behalf of the Meigs County woman who died in the back of a deputy's vehicle after he drove into the Tennessee River. We have new information after the break.
Just about time to spring forward. We've got daylight saving time coming up this weekend, and we'll be talking with Greg Bobus about when you can expect to see.
8:25 is the time. We have an update to a story that we first brought you as breaking news a couple of weeks ago now. It was a story about a missing Meigs County deputy. Now, the Meigs County Sheriff's Office eventually found that deputy, Robert J. Leonard, in the Tennessee River, along with his patrol car and the body of the woman that he had recently taken into custody. Well, now a lawsuit has been filed on behalf of Tabitha Smith against the Meigs County government as well as Deputy Leonard. The lawsuit alleges that Leonard was not properly trained by the county to know his assigned area of patrol and know the nature of the incident location. If you would like to read more on that full lawsuit, you can go to our website right now, fox17.com.
We want to look ahead to this weekend, Saturday night into Sunday morning. It's going to be time to move the clocks forward 1 hour for daylight saving time.
So when you wake up, you're going to go, what is going on? Because it'll still be dark, depending upon how early you're awake.
Yeah.
But you get that extra hour of daylight at the end of the day.
That's right. And so for a lot of folks, that just feels better, right? Feels like the day is longer. By the way, in case you were curious about where Tennessee stands on daylight saving time, like,
which I'm very curious.
Are we trying to end it? Are we trying to keep it? Well, back in 2019, so here we are, gosh, almost 5 years ago, Tennessee passed a state law that calls for us to move to daylight saving time year round. In other words, we would never have to change our clocks. But Congress, dragging its feet, has yet to sign off on it. So the state has approved it for us to never, change the clocks again.
So by 2037, we'll know what's going on.
Yeah, maybe, if we're lucky.
In that ballpark. Just the Saturday night into Sunday is the time you're doing it here. And thankfully, most of our devices do it by themselves. You'll wake up and you're going to go, oh, yeah. You get that extra daylight at the end of the day. Let's talk sunrise, sunset from Saturday into Sunday. It is just a 1 hour time flip. We'll go from 6:05 for the sunrise on Saturday, 7:04 on Sunday. So a lot of kids spring break next week, but when they get back to school the week after, the sun might not be up as early as you're used to when you're getting the kids out the door. Keep that in mind. However, if they have after-school sports, evening sports, the sun sets closer to 7 p.m., which also means that our temperature change will be noticeable as well. It'll feel warmer than it actually is at that time because we're not really changing how hot we get when we do because the sun doesn't move. But it'll feel a little bit warmer when the sun is setting about a week from now. This weekend itself, not all that great. Warm and rainy, a little bit cooler than we're used to here as far as yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We'll be right near 60, but that is the warmer day. Cool and dry on Sunday, 56 degrees. Temperatures at night may drop into the upper 30s. Saturday night into Sunday morning. So if you are up early after that time change and the sun still isn't up yet because it is again going to rise a little bit later, a little chilly to kick off that day.
Clear traffic this morning takes us over to West Nashville. That is the biggest problem by far, and that's I-40 there, very close to the Bellevue exit there on I-40 as you make that drive in. The big slowdowns because of that plane crash that happened last night. I'm going to tell you how that's going to impact your traffic coming up in just a few minutes.
Take a look at your screen right now. We have footage from the plane crash that happened overnight, as Justin was just mentioning, along I-40. Karen Aguilar working together more information as investigators are now on the scene this morning.
Big Bang Theory.
Weeknights at 6 and 6:30 on Fox 17. This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by the Rocky McElhaney Law Firm. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
It's been a little over 1 week since 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers was reported missing. A week of nonstop searching. His family telling investigators he walked off from his home in Sumner County. We're going to tell you what crews have uncovered so far and how they're not going to stop searching.
And a little light rainfall coming down in the Nashville area, especially south of town, and then we get way off toward the west. A few thunderstorms have developed. How many more we can expect throughout today coming up in your forecast?
Steer clear traffic takes us to the west side of town. This is I-40 near Highway 70. A big slowdown here. I'll explain why coming up in a few.
Thank you so much for waking up with us here on a Tuesday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. That breaking update in steer clear traffic is directly connected to our big breaking news story of the morning. And that is the plane crash along I-40 just west of Nashville. Now, the video that you're looking at behind us is from overnight. We've been able to confirm this morning that all 5 people on board died when their small plane crashed right off the edge of I-40 in a grassy area.
Right now, though, Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us live out there near the scene from West Nashville. Karen, you've been out there since 4 o'clock this morning. What have you been able to uncover?
Well, so far, all we know is that those 5 people have died, unfortunately, and that investigators are here on scene trying to determine what happened. But I want you to take a look behind me at that crash. You can see that plane there. Look how small it is behind the crime tape. And we do know, again, that 5 people were on board at the time of the crash and unfortunately lost their lives, probably engulfed in flames that we saw earlier from that video that you showed. And if my photojournalist Kevin pans to the right, you can see that there are police cars here, a black car, again, investigating what's going on here. We do know that the FAA has been here trying to comb through pieces, and the NTSB is expected to be here later today. We also heard audio of the pilot to air traffic control saying that his engines weren't working and couldn't land on the runway of a nearby airport. Now, this is what we're looking at right now, but I want you to see what a driver saw going down this road yesterday. Plane you just saw behind me was engulfed in flames, pieces of it on the ground with some smoke. Officials say they are working with federal agencies to figure out where the plane came from and more about what happened. What we do know is that the pilot reported engine and power failure at 20 to 8 last night before bursting into flames into the shoulder of Nashville's Interstate 40, causing massive delays and the loss of those lives on board.
When the crash did go down, it did, as witnesses described, implode on impact. That impact was catastrophic and did not leave any survivors.
We are working to find the identities of the victims, along with continue to gather more information of what could have happened here. When we have that information, we will bring it to you. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
8:34 your time. Let's get right into the radar where the rain is at and where it is going here on a Tuesday morning. Taking a look. Top of the radar, not that impressive, but definitely blanketing a lot of Middle Tennessee with some rainfall right here. Nashville, you take it all the way east, southeast, and south of town, and you're seeing some steady, light rainfall, but it is there. So we're talking 40 inbound, we're talking 24 inbound, and then 65 from the south going back up into Nashville as well. All of our towns in a good 20, 25-mile stretch each direction. You're seeing some rain. Hohenwald, yeah, you're seeing some rain here. All y'all here in the southwestern portion of Middle Tennessee, you've been seeing some rain here since about 4 o'clock in the morning, so this is nothing new for you. A few more rounds of this. I'm queuing up a brand new look at future track for you that we'll show you in about 5 minutes from right now.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you to I-40 here at Highway 70. This is over in the West Nashville area. We can tell you, coming in from Bellevue, things look a lot like this for the next 3 miles or so. This is because of that crash on I-40, that airplane crash on I-40 near American Road. As a matter of fact, let's take you closer to that scene. They've shifted the camera again, so you really can't see, but it's right over here. All of this traffic is slowing down just to look at the crash, and because of that, it's causing a bit of a drag on the traffic. Look at this, all the way back, and now we're seeing it in both directions. We hadn't seen that before. The traffic now slowing down in both directions as people on both sides, both inbound and outbound, are slowing down to look at the plane crash. Highway 70 is the best way to steer clear.
In the last 8 days, it has been 8 days, I should say, since 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, and there has been, since then, no trace of him.
Right, which to so many folks who have been following this story, it seems so bizarre that he would go to bed, that the search dogs would not pick up any trace of him outside of the home. But here we are, and we know this morning that the search efforts for that 15-year-old with autism are scaling back. and teams are now focusing more on the investigation itself.
Fox 17 News' Kelly Avellino joining us with the very latest. Kelly, we're also hearing now from Sebastian's parents for the first time.
That's right, and we did speak exclusively to Sebastian's biological father, who was absolutely distraught on the phone last night. Sebastian was reported missing by his mother, Katie Proudfoot, the Monday before last. And since then, again, very perplexing that there's been absolutely no sign of Sebastian, not on any surveillance or ring cameras in the neighborhood, trail cams, no witnesses, folks passing by or driving, and no scent from tracking dogs. Now, the search to find Sebastian has been monumental, as we've been reporting this past week. Trained crews from around the state, including the National Guard, all methods possible: helicopters, ground teams on foot, horseback, ATV, dive teams, drones, infrared cameras, and more. But yesterday, the Sumner County Sheriff's Office says they're going to scale back operations some. They're still searching, they're still on standby, but the focus is really shifting now more to the investigation itself on the disappearance of Sebastian. Of course, opening up more potential speculation that something might have happened to Sebastian aside from him wandering off. Now, his mother, Katie Proudfoot, and stepfather have spoken to the media in the past couple days. They say Sebastian went to bed that night at 9 p.m. on Sunday. The stepdad, Christopher Proudfoot, saying he was out of town that night for work, speaking to the mother for a couple hours on the phone later that evening. Katie saying she fell asleep on the phone, later got up about midnight, moved to her bed. Then when she woke up at 6 a.m. the next morning, she says Sebastian was not in his bed. She says Sebastian left without shoes or a cell phone, but did take a flashlight. Fox 17 News speaking exclusively to Sebastian's biological father yesterday, Seth Rogers, who last saw him 2 weekends before he went missing. Seth lives in Clarksville, works as a Davidson County Sheriff's deputy, and has been in Sumner County every single day, side by side with search teams looking for his son.
If you could say something to Sebastian right now, what would you say?
I miss you, buddy. And I'm waiting. I want to hear from you.
The tone of his voice says it all there. Seth saying he's eternally grateful for the immense effort that law enforcement has put into finding Sebastian, as well as volunteers. He tells us Sebastian likes creeks, fishing, playing video games, Minecraft specifically, animals and plants. His mother saying his favorite color is green and that his favorite song is Eye of the Tiger. Search crews reportedly playing that very loudly in the woods as they continue to search for him. And I should tell you, Erica and Jen, the sheriff's office saying they have no reason to believe at this point that Sebastian is not alive. So again, the search continues.
Kelly,
Send interest for 5 years with 0 down. Shop the Orange event at your local Ashley.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by the Rocky McElhaney Law Firm.
Right now, we have breaking news when it comes to international headlines. This morning, talks to establish a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip have reportedly ended without a breakthrough. Egyptian officials saying this morning that the latest rounds of negotiations with Hamas have ended. Talks have been ongoing, trying to implement a ceasefire and release some of the Israeli hostages before the start of Ramadan in less than 1 week. Now, the war between Israel and Hamas has been going on for nearly 5 months. It's a story we're following on Fox17News.com.
And as you hit the road this morning, you need to know.
Happy Hiller Club membership, a $1,000 or $5,000 Hiller gift card.
I wish you would have said that earlier.
Welcome back. Your voice, your vote. Today is Super Tuesday, and voters in Tennessee and across the country heading to the polls to cast their ballot for the 2024 presidential primary and a lot of local races as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And joining us live this morning is Tennessee Secretary of State Trey Hargett. Good morning to you. What are you guys seeing so far when it comes to numbers and turnout?
You know, it's been a little lower than we expected. You know, on the Democrat side, there's only one candidate, so that certainly has created lower turnout on that side. Republican turnout is slightly up versus 4 years ago, but that's not surprising either because there was no opposition for Republicans 4 years ago. During the presidential preference primary, though, typically people wait to cast their vote to Election Day, so we think today could be a busy day. And unfortunately, unlike 4 years ago, there were no tornadoes to disrupt the day, so we're happy about that, obviously.
Right. Curious, Mr. Hargett, with regards to election security, right? This is something that is top of mind, especially since the 2020 election. What, if any, changes have been made here in Tennessee to make sure that this is a secure process?
Well, there's a lot of different things we do, whether it's watermarking paper ballots, we don't allow drop boxes, photo ID laws. Probably one of the real strengths of our system is bipartisan work where Democrats keep an eye on Republicans and Republicans keep an eye on Democrats throughout the process, programming machines together, counting the votes together, Democrat Republican seals on machines, certification of the elections. There's a lot of things like that. I can't give you the keys to the kingdom and tell you everything we do, but I would just tell you we work closely with others in the cybersecurity arena and also to protect the physical security of our election sites and the election commissions.
And yes, we have the presidential primary today, that vote happening, but also a lot of local elections. Can you speak to that as well?
Well, certainly. There's a lot of counties throughout this state, and in some cities actually are having municipal elections as well. So you're not only voting in the president's preference primary, but it's also where both parties are selecting their primaries winners to be able to, who is going to be their nominee for the August general elections as well. So I encourage people, be an educated consumer with your vote and know what you're voting on before you go in. You can get all that information at govotn.gov. Or our app at GoVoteTN. It's free, and you can see what's going to be in your ballot before you go.
Okay, good stuff. We'll make sure to link all that through our website, fox17.com. Secretary Hargett, thank you so much for your time. He was talking about all the different elections going on in Sumner County. They've got Sumner County schools with an election today, and that's been real heated. So definitely worth knowing before you go.
And he mentioned about the past election days, the weather did not cooperate. Not dealing with tornadoes today, just some showers out there depending on where you are and the timing.
Yeah, showers we can handle too. Taking a look here, this is not going to be anything to really worry about, but maybe you are waiting in a line, maybe you are going somewhere just in general throughout the day, whether it's errands, grocery store, kids, sporting events this evening. The entire day comes loaded with the possibility of some showers on the radar. Here's what we're looking at. We're taking a look at the broad strokes of the entire area. Most of this is going to end up being east of I-60 for the morning, and I should say I-65 for the morning, and then going into the afternoon, everything will begin to shift just a touch toward the western portion of the viewing area. Why the shift? Well, that's going to be because of the fact that we have, again, not a lot happening in some of these areas that are to the west. So the atmosphere is going to be used in a different way when it comes down to it as far as the full forecast goes. We're looking at a lot of things that are moving. My computer has frozen, so I will show you your 7-day forecast and work you through the rest of today. I promise, stick with me. Coming up in a few minutes, less than 5 minutes from right now.
All right, everyone, steer clear traffic. Want to give you a quick look at what's going on out there at I-40 near American Road. This is where crews have been investigating that plane crash since around 7:40 last night when that plane went down. This small, looks like nothing significant type of event here on the camera really is causing miles and miles of backup. But people on both sides are slowing down. So take a look at the wreckage, which is right off camera. You can't see it from here, but if you were to travel there at I-40 near American Road, Charlotte Pike, you would see it there on the shoulder. So it is causing a delay. You may want to take Charlotte Pike to steer clear of the whole thing. Your drive times right now, 44 minutes coming in from Franklin, 54 minutes. We've gone back to the green coming in from Murfreesboro. 48 minutes coming in from Kingston Springs into downtown. That is part of that drive on I-40 coming in from places like Kingston Springs, Fairview, Bellevue, all of you included. Anybody driving past that wreckage is going to have to slow down just a little bit.
The Tennessee Department of Transportation crews are continuing to work to repair all the potholes that have popped up around the midstate. TDOT says they have laid to this point more than double the amount of mix this January and February compared to the same time last year.
All right, so as you hit the roads, crews say drivers should be prepared for short-term traffic delays during these repair operations. So we're getting it repaired, but we got to deal with some traffic headaches along the way. After the break, an endangered child alert is still active this Tuesday morning as the...
Don't worry, just sell and buy in one move when you start with Open Door.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes. Start with an all-cash offer at opendoor.com.
We have a quick recap of our top stories this Tuesday morning, including this. Okay, happening now. The search continuing for this 7-year-old girl that we're going to show you, reported missing from Rutherford County. The TBI says Iris Crum was last seen March 1st in Murfreesboro near Blue Fox Trail.
Yeah, they're also searching for Iris's mother, the woman you see here on your screen, 30-year-old Kalia Sereda, who was wanted by the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office for interfering in a custody arrangement. If you know where either one of these people are, please call 1-800-TBI-FIND.
And want to let you know Metro Police are now searching for a suspect for yesterday's deadly shooting at a Bordeaux area apartment complex.
Yeah, we first brought this to you as breaking news yesterday morning. We've now learned the victim is Samuel Edwards Jr. He got shot at the Overlook Ridge Apartments on Buena Vista Pike. He died at the hospital. Officers say the suspect followed Edwards into the apartments, but right now police say they don't know why. So any details here that could help them solve this case, you can call Crime Stoppers.
And happening today are opening statements that are going to begin in the trial for the man accused of hitting a mid-state volleyball player over in St. Louis. Daniel Riley is accused of hitting Janae Edmondson last year. Edmondson lost both of her legs because of that crash. Riley was charged with 3 counts of assault as well as armed criminal action. We'll be sure to bring you the very latest from this trial, both on air and online at fox17.com.
And remember, throughout the course of the day, you can always stay updated on stories when we're not on the air. You can scan the QR code right here to get our free Fox 17 News app to do just that.
Also making headlines, Nashville's Police Community Review Board just released their findings about the use of force by Metro Police.
And Metro Police really biting back here after the report, saying it is not taking a look at the big picture. Now, this review board took a look at everything from how people were detained to the use of force to how police dogs were used, and they did this between 2018 and 2022. And this community review board claims that the data shows people of color accounted for 60% of the use of force cases in 2022 compared to 28% of white people. But members of law enforcement, in fact, members of Metro PD say this report does not paint the full picture. Retired Metro officer Ken Alexandra says that this is not about the color of anybody's skin.
The bottom line is we are not targeting a group of people. We're targeting crime. If they ask you, hey mate, you got a warrant, sorry about that, if you don't mind, turn around, put your hands on your back, got to take you to book it. If you'll just do that, guess what? No use of force is generated.
The Oversight Board also put out a list of recommendations for Metro Nashville Police. We have that on our website. It's fox17.com.
Right now at 8:56, we have a live look into downtown Nashville, where we've been dodging showers a little bit here this morning. Greg, is that going to continue for the day?
Unfortunately, yes. Yeah, the rain has picked up here significantly in the last 3 hours or so, just in terms of coverage area. Looking at the map, you're seeing a lot more green than you are dry spaces here. So that's going to be the entire situation for this afternoon and this evening. And if you hear a rumble or two of thunder, you see a quick little crack of lightning, it's not going to be the beginning of a really big storm system. We have no severe weather, but just enough warmth and just enough going on in the atmosphere. There could be 1 or 2 weak little storms. All in all, you're not getting the rain the entire day. Getting the Fox 17 Code Red weather app's going to be really helpful for you for 2 reasons. 1, you get the radar, and 2, you get it while you're on the go. So say you have evening plans that involve being outdoors. I'm talking sports that are outdoors for a lot of our kids that are out there. Wet bleachers, grab the towel. Don't forget your towel. Make sure you've got that and you're good to go. And then going into the afternoon, we're going to be in the 70s one more time. Right now, right side of your screen. Every morning we keep those current temps up for you. We're in the 60s already. Enjoy the afternoon. Find those little pockets of dry time. But just know that the ability for it to rain everywhere on and off throughout the day will be there for the afternoon and the evening. I want you all to look at the weekend.
Okay.
Not quite as warm.